Welcome back into another live edition of The Meltdown. The long weekend led to lots of fireworks, including on episode 4 of House of the Dragon. How dramatically captured has this Dance of the Dragons been thus far? We will discuss with no spoilers. Inside Out 2 was finally ousted in its 4th week, but it held exceptionally well. Will Despicable Me 4 find a way to pass Inside Out 2's box office successes? We will run down the top 10 movies at the Cineplex with you. And with the release of EA Sports College Football 25 right around the corner, what elements of the game have earned John's confidence? Luntz's list will dish out at least 5 helmet stickers for your enjoyment. It's all happening right here on The Meltdown, presented by MyBookie, broadcasting live from the Culver studio.
Two big boys in a tiny studio, teaching you and me about everything they know to make sound a meltdown. It's the meltdown, time for the meltdown, coming for the meltdown. Let's start the show.
Welcome into all of you lovely Meltdonians for another live week of The Meltdown. Last week we had a little bit of an adjusted schedule for sure with the holiday, but we had plenty of treats out there for you to enjoy, including a documentary produced, directed by, starring, written by, and financed by Mr. John Lunsford. You can check that out. It is on the history of not only trivia, but also of The Meltdown itself. And it was nice taking a few walks down memory lane. John, I appreciate all the effort you put into that documentary because I think that it was really entertaining and it didn't have any right to be.
I'm glad somebody liked it.
Somebody. I've heard wide scale of praise for it. I think that you have as well.
I enjoyed it thoroughly.
Yes.
The best moment in it, I think, was when Spud missed the chair.
Yes.
I put a little sound effect behind it and
It was a good sound effect.
Yes,
Makes
it
me
was.
giggle every
Or
time.
when I challenged and you saw Laurel's face close up when we lost the point.
Oh, the little Metal Gear Solid
was.
sound effect.
That's
That was
right,
nice.
yeah.
It was. I didn't realize how funny you were until I watched that documentary.
Yeah.
Wow.
Really, really talented.
Thank you.
Yes, it was fantastic. John,
I'm leaving by.
you just got back from Central Florida. Tell
I
us a
did.
little bit about
the
what
college?
all were you
Yeah.
able to do?
Saw Gus Malzahn. Team's looking good this year.
We're going to be looking great. I think I'm going to put a little sun in my hair.
I think they have a chance to make some noise in the Big 12.
Time to have a goatee.
Yeah. It was fun. It was hot. It was incredibly hot, very humid because it would rain and then it would get over 100 and then it would rain and then it would get over 100.
Now, I'm watching all these YouTubers that are on the platform saying
Saw
that
Tim Tracker, by the way.
you did.
Yeah, on the 4th of July at Epcot. He was walking around filming stuff right next to us.
Did you talk to him or did you
I
just?
said I saw Tim Tracker. I didn't talk to him.
I was wondering if you. Actually
Hey, I've been
spoke to him.
tracking you.
Because honestly, I don't really watch him that much, but my wife does. It's like, that's Tim Tracker.
That's awesome.
Okay, well, don't say anything.
No, my wife would lose her mind
Don't
if
be awkward.
she saw the trackers in the park. But that's not my question. My question is,
What are the trackers?
it's a group of vloggers who go to Disney World that are
Oh,
pretty prolific
Yeah,
in
like
the Disney
One
community.
of the biggest. Yeah.
Yeah, they're great.
okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Tim
Whole
and Jen
sub-community.
Tracker.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm going to get to this question at some point, and that is, I saw all these vloggers on YouTube saying that the park attendance was like just depressingly low and Disney should be worried and Walt Disney World is going down the drain and it's finally the end of times for Disney. And it feels like this is the narrative every 4th of July now for a lot of these vloggers. Did you see low attendance? Were the ride times really low? Was it not? Was it something where you were like, oh my gosh, nobody's coming to Disney anymore? Was that something that you saw from your perspective?
Well, the good thing with Disney is people do cancel reservations like spur of the moment sometimes. Like, you know what? We're not going to go to that restaurant. We're not going to go to this place. To where on the 4th of July, we kept refreshing because we got Epcot reservations. Like you have to do like the reservation thing still. And we got Epcot reservations, and my wife kept refreshing because Magic Kingdom was sold out until eventually we could get Magic Kingdom on the 4th instead of the 5th to try to get on Tiana's Bayou Adventure, which we did.
What's going on?
But I'm just saying all that to say it was sold out on the 4th.
I hear the ride's broken. It doesn't work.
Ride was not broken. We were group 33, and we went on about 10:30. So that's 2.5 hours after it opened. They didn't start off right at 8. I don't know if maybe 8 was like that magic hour early or something, so it didn't open until 9. I don't know. We were group 33, and the way the virtual queue works is at 7 o'clock, you have to like get on, sign up for it. They did it with Rise of the Resistance. They did it with Guardians. They did it with Tron. Now they're doing it with this to kind of open it because I think it just launched officially like a week ago or 2 weeks ago. And we were group 33, and it went pretty fast, and we got on the ride, and it was full, and it sold out in 4 minutes, and it was okay. My only
Tiana's Bayou. What was it?
Tiana's Bayou Adventure. It's Splash Mountain. They redid it for The Princess and the Frog. My only complaint with it is they didn't do The Princess and the Frog storyline. They did a new storyline after The Princess and the Frog, and there's really not much of a storyline. It's like I have not seen it. It's like the one movie, Disney animated movie I've not seen is The Princess and the Frog. But there's like this storyline where she's like a chef.
Yeah.
And then it randomly turns into
She makes beignets.
Louis, the gator, is like starting a band in the forest, and then it's over. It's like the animatronics are great. The drop is still the same as Splash
They
Mountain
only
was,
had so much real estate to work with.
but
So.
they had a lot of real estate that's just like the jungle or the bayou, I guess. It's just like they had a lot of real estate they didn't do enough with. The animatronics were cool, but there was no point to them. That's my only problem with this is like there's not a story, and I know you're just supposed to get on there to take the big drop and smile for the camera, which I did. I did a horns down on. I thought it was fun. But I mean, other than that, it was fine. It was the same ride. I was never a big Splash Mountain person to begin with. I like the Jurassic Park ride a lot better.
We're going to talk more about your trip throughout the course of the week. Tomorrow's Lunch's list, I haven't told you what it is yet, but it's going to be about your trip. I just haven't told you what the topic is yet, but you will get it here after the show. I'm scared if I give you the topic now, you'll spoil it somehow and give your 5 things here. So we're going to wait.
Okay.
Speaking of Horns Down and speaking of theme park thrill ride attractions, that's really not much of a tie-in. No. Our very own EG is here with us, and she's going to be on location going on what is the most thrilling adventure possible.
Absolutely.
And that is SEC Media Days, and it will be in the state of Texas.
Yes.
1 week from today, you will be there reporting for us here on the Meltdown. I'm looking very forward to that.
Back here?
Oh, you're good.
Am I blending with the stormtrooper?
Are you blinded right now? Can you even see me?
Yeah, I can see you.
Okay, good. Because you started to squint a little bit when that light got there. So let's talk a little bit about your expectations for SEC Media Days, because I love SEC Media Days. I love being in that atmosphere. It's the unofficial kickoff to college football. The only thing is it's a sort of a false kickoff to college football because you get in that mode of like football is finally back, and then you have to go like another month.
Yeah,
like,
it's like another month and a half almost.
Yeah.
I'm excited. Today I have been color coding all of my team cheat sheets. I should have brought them in here. So LSU is purple and goldish yellow. And so what I do is...
What color is Alabama?
It's like, I haven't done Alabama yet, but it'll be like burgundy and probably gray.
What about Mississippi State?
Should be
Burgundy.
crimson. But
Crimson.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but I don't have a crimson pen.
I feel like
And I don't
Jiminy
do
Glick.
red.
Like, now, how did you come up with those colors?
You're a reporter.
How original. Okay.
Anyways, so I type it all out and then I transfer it with like my handwriting and it really sticks. So I've done Monday and Tuesday, my cheat sheets. And then I just got the email about players. So I'm excited. This is where I thrive, right? It's like the reporting role. That's my background, the questions, the big room, things like that. Back to my roots, if you will.
Have you ever been to the state of Texas before?
Heck yeah, I've got family out there. Austin.
Okay.
I was a flower girl in a wedding out there too.
Oh my gosh.
I know.
So many
I went
stories.
to a Dallas Cowboys game on Thanksgiving.
Okay. So
Yep.
you have tons of experience there.
The answer
in
to that
Texas.
question is yes.
Yes.
I'm a huge Mavericks fan, and I'm a huge Stars fan. Anything you manage to bring back with Mavericks or Stars, I'd be a fan of. I'm not tasking you with you have to do that, but I've never been to the state of Texas.
Really?
Never.
That's kind of surprising.
Yeah, I know.
Hey,
Surprising to me,
you gotta bring
too.
some Tex-Mex back.
Yeah, for sure.
What, travel well? Since y'all are driving?
Torchy's tacos.
I take that back. I have been to Texas, but through the airport, through the Dallas-Fort Worth airport, and it was a dump. It was awful. There was a seafood restaurant near the bathroom.
It's okay.
No, it was awful. And I couldn't find any Star stuff and no Maverick stuff. Tons of Cowboy stuff.
Yeah.
I don't want any Cowboy stuff.
Have we chatted about the Dallas Cowboys documentary yet?
No. Is this
No,
a Netflix
I still
thing?
hadn't watched it.
Is this Netflix?
Netflix.
Yeah.
I have a ton of thoughts when we're ready.
Well,
I
I
binged
think
it.
now's your chance.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Where no one else. We're not
I'm
going to
watch it
moment?
eventually.
What
I
are
just
your
haven't
quick
watched it yet.
thoughts?
Quick thoughts are the old show. If you watch the old show on CMT,
Yeah.
that was unfiltered. It was the focal point was
the cheerleaders.
Yes,
Okay.
was training camp, and then into the first few games. So that was routines, choreography, really get into the nitty gritty of a Dallas Cowboys cheerleader. This is more narratives, follow the person, get to know their families. And for me, that's not my jam when it comes to the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders. It was very well produced in a sense of visually, it was very appealing, but it kind of got redundant at times. And I don't think that they did a good job of showing just how crazy it is that they learn 50 improv routines that they have to deploy at any point in the game. But will I watch season 2? Absolutely.
There is a barrier, I think, to a lot of us here in the room for not being able to consume it maybe with as much anticipation, because that's just a job we could never have, you know?
If it was on Max and it was Hard Knocks, but that, I feel like I would probably consume it because I'm more on Max and I know the quality I'm going to get with Hard Knocks, just of production and stuff like that, that I feel like, depending on where it is, with Netflix, I've scrolled past it a couple times. You got to have Lee Schreiber, of course, do it. But I've scrolled past it a couple times, but it's always, if I'm on Netflix, I'm specifically going to Netflix for something else.
Yeah.
I expect something like that on Max or HBO. Whatever.
So this is amazing. This is a little bit of ESP here, because there's this one pizza place that if I eat it before bed, I have just the craziest dreams.
Little Caesars, right?
Damon and Harrenhal type stuff. It is Little Caesars.
And
if I eat Little Caesars before bed, I go crazy.
Lee Schreiber is narrating it.
No, I in my dream witnessed 2 murders and had to tell you, and I watched the murders play out in my dream, and I had to tell you,
Were they
John,
married with little scissors?
Was it any of us?
I could not tell you. I had to tell you that I was not going to make the show on Monday because I had to appear in court, and my attorney was Liev Schreiber.
Wow.
Sabretooth?
So this
So I
is
assume I
like,
wasn't
This is a
murdered if you were
weird
having to talk to me.
tie-in.
this is a very weird tie-in. The fact that y'all brought up Liev Schreiber like just randomly, and I was like, I'm not going to bring up that story because it's going to make me sound like a crazy person.
But do we know the people that were murdered?
I knew the people that were murdered.
We don't.
Okay.
But
Because Brown did that and kept toying with us, and it's still driving
It's
everybody
still
crazy.
hasn't
it wasn't anybody that was in this office. However, in this office, there was a panic, right? Reed was trying to keep me out of the way of the media that was like hounding me for information because I was at both scenes of both murders.
But it wasn't you.
But I'm not the suspect. I was the key witness. But Dunaway was convinced that somehow the feds were going to hone in on him and take him away or something. Like
That
the
sounds
entire
like a
time.
reality.
Like, I'm not kidding about that. So anyway, Liev Schreiber was my attorney. And there were a bunch of different attorneys that I had met with, and Liev Schreiber was the one who won my representation. Anyway, that's the weirdest story of the day.
At least the opening statement sounded cool.
Yes, of course. Happy
Sorry.
to be here.
So that's our thoughts on the Dallas Cowboys. My question to you, Mr. Young Lionel, Tyler Lionel Johns, how many times have you gone to the movie theater in the past week? Because you've been just knocking out movie after movie after movie. You spent the 4th of July basically watching fireworks on the big screen.
Okay, you said past week, so I was just checking to be sure. 4. I've seen Kinds of Kindness, the early access for Maxine, Despicable Me 4, and Fly Me to the Moon.
Don't care.
So
I've heard of it, Despicable Me.
I'm a movie fanatic. It is the reason I am here. But I really didn't have much of an urge to go to the theater at all this past week. And it was weird for me because there wasn't really anything that spoke to me as like, I need to see this immediately. Now, I am thinking about later today seeing Maxine because I have heard some good things. My sister really liked it. My brother-in-law was like, you seem to be pretty high on it. Laurel, I know, was like through the roof, even though she was going to be regardless of its quality. And John, you don't like slasher movies, but you still gave it like a mild,
I think I gave it like a 3.5 on Letterboxd.
Yeah.
Is that the highest you've ever rated a horror movie?
No.
No?
3.6.
No, he gave Jaws a 3.5 on Letterboxd.
Oh,
Wait,
yeah,
no, hold on, that would be the same score.
Which means I despise it, apparently. No, I mean, I don't know. I'd have
Just
to go through
means
and look.
Tim despises you.
I know I gave Midsummer like a 4.5. I don't know. I could go look. But she wasn't obsessed with it. It's probably second for her behind Pearl in that trilogy. I have only seen Pearl and Maxine. I don't think you will like it, but
Probably won't.
I'm interested
Do you
to see.
like the movie fans movies? If you know what I mean,
I don't know
movies
what you
that
Here's
like
my-
pay homage to like old
here's-
Hollywood and stuff like that.
Here's my review of the movie, and I think I've said this multiple times in front of you about Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I love the Hollywood aspect of it. I give zero cares about the Manson family stuff of it.
Yeah.
That's exactly the way this movie is.
Got it.
Like, I love the Hollywood aspect of it. Don't care about the slasher stuff of it. And there's just enough in it to kind of sour me a little bit on the movie that I think you will probably like that aspect of it and be like, I don't really care for the rest of it.
I may not watch it. I don't know. I haven't made up my mind yet. I haven't purchased my ticket. We've got Rockstar here with us. How did you spend your July 4th holiday?
I went to Loudon, Tennessee, as per usual, and did a Jimmy Buffett concert Friday night on the 5th. We left on the 4th at about 11:30 p.m.
Do you know if there's any tickets left for Friday here in Birmingham? Because
Yeah, there's tickets.
I'm going to that.
There's tickets on the upper tier, I think, are still available. So this is the final run is this Friday in Birmingham at the BJCC. Finally, an indoor show that I don't have to wear a hat and look like Mike Love or wear a headband or.
Now, I don't know if this is a fair question to ask, but
Go ahead and ask it.
do you ramp it up a little bit for the BJCC performance compared to the other ones? I mean, do you like make sure that you give a little extra juice because that's your hometown?
It is. Well, my family's coming. Like a lot of my family's coming to this one. The BJCC was, growing up seeing Coldplay there and seeing, I think I saw REM there. Long time just to be on that stage, and just the amount of seats and everything. It's just an incredible thing that you think you never would have achieved. And so this will be like the third or fourth time I've played there, and every time it's been like just magic for me because if you go to stages, every stage we've ever played on, the stage is black. It's literal black, wood, whatever, or dark wood. BJCC is white. It's really interesting. It's a white stage, so you can see all the scuff marks and everything. But it's just so cool to be able to play something like that as a boy, to never think that you're going to do that, especially being a Jimmy Buffett concert.
Now, this is a little bit of a morbid question, but every time you go and perform there, do you think to yourself, this could be the last time you perform there? I mean, do you soak it all in and like?
No, I don't have. I'm not that type of person.
Is that a Jim Dunaway question?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
Sorry.
absolutely.
But I'm not that type of sentimental. Like, I'm just glad I'm here. Like, I'm glad I have played it. I can say I've played it. It's not going to be if I just play Red Rocks once, it'd be great. I'm not going to say, God, this is going to be the only time I'll ever be able to do this. Like, no, just soak it in that once would be great.
Yeah, I would just feel like the clock is constantly running to.
Oh, it is because I
didn't walk out and be like, man, Despicable Me 4 is the last movie I'll ever see.
Yeah,
like, that's different. That's not even a same comparison.
There is going to be the last time you ever go to Disney. There will be a last time.
There will, but I never
you
leave.
won't know it.
I never leave.
You
thinking,
might not know it.
Ooh, this is the last time I'll ever see Disney.
But there's
World.
okay, I'll go to EG here to try to back me up a little bit. When you're walking out of SEC Media Days at Dallas, you'll feel very accomplished, I'm sure. But you may be saying to yourself, like, that's the last time I may cover SEC Media Days to that extent. You may be telling yourself that, right?
I would say I felt that with Georgia Southern, but also I knew it was kind of my last year. But there were moments of like, I probably won't be sitting in Coach Helton's office picking his brain about the game they're about to play on Saturday. So I do see what you're saying.
Okay. I'm getting no backup here.
Nope.
You know what?
Wait. Can I inject something?
Please.
Do you guys ever think about, this might resonate, that you may hear a song for the last time because there's such a sheer volume of music in the world that there are songs that you have already heard for the last time? You'll probably never hear that song again.
After this show, there's a few songs I will never listen to ever again.
Purposely never listen to
some
Jimmy
of them,
Buffett.
I've got a lot more respect for Jimmy Buffett. Where like I will listen to a few songs, put them on a playlist or something like that. But some of these songs I will never ever seek out again.
I think after this weekend, few of us in the back room might not ever hear those songs again too.
I've been doing good today. The one I played the most that Scott can't stand is a song called Grapefruit Juicy Fruit. And it grew that's the name of a song. And it's actually a interesting song. It's really good, but our set is just too long, so it got cut. And that's one of the ones I've worked so hard because I got to finger pick the intro, and I've been working so hard on that, and it got cut.
John, I know you will be in attendance on Friday night to watch Rockstar. I will be as well, and we're looking very forward to that performance. We're also looking very forward to next week when EG is reporting for us out of Dallas here on the Meltdown, we are going to be spending all week long playing NCAA football here
Literally all
on
week.
the stream, and we'll be doing the show while playing NCAA football. So that should be fun, and we're still working out the kinks on that scheduling, but expect that next Monday. Us to be playing that game. Is that correct?
Comes out Monday at 3:00 Central Time. So we will be.
How long is the download time usually?
I think it pre-downloads Saturday.
Yeah.
And so it'll be whatever
Okay.
patch it is. And so I'm sure, I don't know, the internet's pretty good up here. I'll probably try to download it here before we leave. And then at home, I'll download it. It'll go fast enough.
Here's what I would love to do right now, though. And
What?
It's not play NCAA football, even though it's not called that anymore. It's EA Sports College Football 25. I'm still going to call it NCAA football, so please forgive me.
I am too.
I want to play
Game
some,
of footballs.
play some Tim with Tim. I got 10 questions.
Hell yeah.
We got some competitors. Let's go ahead and get to it. Now, I wasn't 100% sure that
that's not the same
EG
thing.
I know, that's just a joke.
was going to be on the show today. So some of these questions may be male-leaning. And if they are, I'll try to, on the fly,
How often do you shave your beard? It's like, wait, what?
that may happen. That's all I'm saying is it may happen, okay? Because I try to think about who's going to be in here. So just bear with me. Question number 1. Ah, man, this is the first one. Gotcha. Okay, I didn't even know this. On a scale of 1 to 10, what would you give last night's House of the Dragon episode? John?
9.5.
Wow. That is...
Have you
Incredible.
seen a 10 yet?
Those are acolyte numbers for you.
So this would be what episode?
I love how I gave that one episode like a.
This is like what episode?
Tim, we've
12,
got the rest of
13?
the week to fight about
the
the
season?
I
accolades.
gave that one episode like a 6 out of 10. It was the highest one. Like, okay, whatever.
You gave it a 4 out of 5, which would be an 8 out of 10.
Did I give it? I thought I gave it 3 out of 5.
No,
Anyway,
you gave it a 4.
okay.
Gave Jaws a 3.5.
Still a whole point and a half below, and that
I'm
was the best
fine.
episode.
I've been grabbing random people on the street. John gave the Acolyte a 4 out of 5 and gave Jaws a
wouldn't
3.5 out of 5. What is wrong with the
Wouldn't
world?
surprise me.
9.5 out of 10 is incredible. E.g., you did not watch the episode last night, so you would...
No, but I just Googled a recap to try and learn.
No, don't.
Awesome.
I love how if E.g.
Just blindly.
doesn't know the answer, she will try to cheat to achieve it.
I don't call it cheating. I call it using my resources.
Okay. All right.
Looks like the people are liking it.
Have you watched the Triple Threat Trivia documentary yet?
I've seen bits and pieces. I need to sit down and watch the whole
That means
thing.
no.
You need to watch the whole thing. We've got Rockstar,
Okay.
who watched House of the Dragon last night. What would you give it score 1 through 10?
I'll give it an 8.
Oh, wow.
But I don't think I'm trying to think of all the episodes of season 1 and 2. What would be a 10 for me? I
Yeah.
don't think there has been a 10, so I will give it an 8.
An 8.
It's one of the best.
Still very solid. What would you give it out of 10, Tyler?
I'll go 8.5 or 8.75.
We have our House of the Dragon Season 2, Episode 4 spoiler review up. If you're watching that series and you want to watch it along with us, we do those recaps each and every Monday. So we would love to have you join us there and make sure you give us a thumbs up. Question number 2. Overall, E.g., would you be more stressed working in an emergency room or in a courtroom?
Emergency room. I wanted to work in a courtroom.
You wanted to be a lawyer there for a while, right?
I did. Pre-law.
Pre-law.
Turned into PR.
I feel like there's more. There's more there.
I mean, there is, but I wanted to be the president of the United States back in the day, and I thought that pre-law was the way to do that.
Let me tell you, the options that we currently have.
That's what I'm saying.
I'll vote.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We're going to get to voting here in just a little bit. Tyler, overall, would you be more stressed working in an emergency room or a courtroom? And I think I know the answer based on the game of Operation that we played.
Yeah, definitely an emergency room. My dad's a nurse, so just hearing about his day stresses me out sometimes.
Yeah, and, I don't think I'd do good in the emergency room setting. What about you, Rockstar? Which one would you be more stressed in, emergency room or courtroom? In my dream, it was courtroom. Liev Schreiber was my attorney.
Yeah, I think emergency room, you'd almost get numb to it where you see it. If that's just normal every day. Like with the courtroom, it changes and you get to see, you see families torn apart, but then you get physically, I'll do emergency room.
Okay. Would you be more stressed in emergency room or courtroom, John?
I wanted to be a neurosurgeon when I was a child. I don't know why, but I would be more stressed in the emergency room because I feel like with law, the law is the law, and so you can argue it and have your points and everything. But I would be more fascinated now to be in the courtroom, and so I think I would be less stressed because of that.
Do you have a thing with blood where blood, freaks you out?
Blood in an emergency room would not freak me out. Like, this sounds bad, but seeing somebody coming in after having their limb cut off or something in the emergency room doesn't freak me out as much as when I see it in a horror movie.
I'll never
Working in an emergency room in Westeros?
I'll
Come
never
on.
understand.
You never
this.
know.
I'll never understand this, but
Terry didn't back it up far enough, and his arm went off.
yeah. Question number 3. How many times a month, John, would you say you use GPS?
I'm gonna say 4 times a month.
4? Just 4?
I'm gonna say 4.
I feel like that's on the low end.
I feel like
Tyler,
that's
how
gotta
many
be-
times a month would you say you use GPS?
Nearly every day.
Okay, so at least 30 times a month, sometimes multiple times a day, I assume. So
Yeah, for sure.
maybe you're up to 90 times a month even. Hope you got a good data
definitely
plan. Rockstar?
I would say probably 6. Sometimes I'll have a gig to a house, I have nowhere to go or something like that. But also to check traffic. Sometimes it helps when you put the GPS on there to see like what's happening, especially going to Troy when people are going to the beach and Calera is backed up for an hour and a half.
James says he uses GPS every day delivering boxes. How often do you use GPS, EG?
I'm with Lionel. It is at least once a day, I would say.
Well, you're also a Georgia native who's
I
here in
am.
Alabama needing to find all sorts
I'm
of
still
things. So it makes more
familiarizing
sense.
myself.
Yeah.
Yes.
That makes sense. I use GPS all the time as well, probably every other day if I had to guess.
I mean, outside of being in Orlando, I've used it twice in the last 2 months.
do you feel like it's weak to have to use GPS to find a place?
No, I just don't really go anywhere I don't know around here. And so if it's on
You live
vacation,
a boring life. Is that what you're doing?
I mean, I know how to get to work. I know how to get from work to home. I know how to get to like
Disney
the
World.
movie theaters. And I do know how to get to Disney World. I only really keep it for time more so than anything. I could get to Disney World without my GPS if I needed to.
Question number 4, Rockstar. Would you ever consider voting for Charles Barkley for governor of Alabama?
Sure. I mean, why not? I mean, I don't know how much you could do worse or better. I mean, it's just, I think it's the people,
He is
people you
teased.
surround yourself with. He's teased a lot. He's teased
teased it a
retirement a lot. I know he's announced his retirement. He said he was going to retire at 50. He said he was going to retire at 60. But, yeah, sure, why not?
Has he actually used the word retirement or just leaving?
He said retire.
He said retire.
Because TNT is done.
He said retire.
I don't buy
So that way he
he's
couldn't be
actually
balled
retired,
out by somebody else.
But he'll do something else. He may have retired from what inside the NBA was.
Okay.
That's just what I think.
I mean, I think he means from being an on-air basketball analyst.
But he'll do plenty of other things.
Would you vote for
Absolutely.
Charles Barkley potentially for governor of Alabama?
Absolutely.
Now, EG, if you become one of us officially and you decide this is going to be your home,
One of us.
are you
One
going
of
to,
us.
would you consider voting for Charles Barkley for governor?
Yeah, I think he's awesome, but I'd like to hear his policies set in place to make sure.
We got to get stuff together, y'all. We got to clean it up.
Done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got a good idea.
Auburn's going to be running the entire state before we know it. We got Tommy Tuberville. He's a senator. We got potentially Charles Barkley one day as a governor. Who knows what's going to happen? Taylor Corn's going to be a press secretary before you know it. My question to you, Tyler, would you ever consider voting for Charles Barkley for governor?
Yeah, I think he could swim to Daphne a lot faster than Kay Ivey.
It's not saying much, but
Wow. That's your parameters of this are pretty low. Anybody in this room, I guess, could earn a vote from young Lionel. Next question. Tyler, do you own a smartwatch?
So I do, but I never wear it. I wore it for like maybe 2 weeks, and it was like lumped in with the plan on my old phone. So
So it was just one of those bundle sort of
yeah,
things?
yeah, it was a bundle deal, and I used it for a couple weeks, and
Said, not for me.
Yeah, just couldn't get used to having it on my wrist all the time. I was never a watch person anyway.
Rocky, you're wearing what looks to be a smartwatch right now.
Yeah, what's crazy is I hated watches growing up, never wore them, and then I think by 2013 I started running so much, and I didn't get a watch. It was the little thing that just counted your steps. It was like
Fitbit.
It's a Fitbit. Thank you. I had a Fitbit, and I was like, well, this is skinny enough. It's not really annoying my arm, and I wore that for forever, and then it broke, and I was like, well, I think I would finally try to watch, and I love it. It's one of those things where I feel naked without it, but it's more for steps and everything. In time, I don't really do the calendar and all that
Rocky,
stuff.
you're one of Birmingham's most famed watch salesmen, and I don't understand.
I worked for Fossil for a while. I had to wear a white vest and stand on my feet for 8 hours. And
But you secretly hated watches.
and people would say, I'm getting my husband a watch for Christmas. Should I get him the digital or the analog? And I would literally say, I don't wear watches, so I don't know. You know your husband better than I do. And then, I was not allowed to use, I could not check you out. I was just, what my job was so stupid. If Mr. Lunsford wants this watch, I got to go find a sales associate, It was at Parisian at the Summit.
You were just a brand rep.
Yeah, and so people would come with me with bras and pants, like, can I check this? And because it was Christmas, it's like, no, I can't. Sir, please, I'm in a hurry. Can you please check me? I was like, I don't have access to anything. I cannot. And like, well, you're behind the counter. I go, I know, but I cannot.
Right.
I'm not allowed to do. I wouldn't even know how to do it. And people were pissed because like he's just trying to get out, check
Should
me
have just
out.
taken cash
No.
and then just
Yeah.
walked out the back door while they
So I was
walked
like,
out the front.
this is not a fun job. I did not enjoy
Oh my
that.
gosh.
It did pay well though.
John, do you own a smartwatch?
I do. I have an old Apple Watch that I wore like crazy before COVID, and then because I would use it to go walk or run, work out, whatever, and then COVID hit and I didn't have to wear it, and so I just never got back used to wearing it. And I'm fascinated by the idea of watches. I just never can I don't like it being on my wrist, especially as much as like I'm typing and everything. I always hit it on
It's
my
an
laptop
adjustment period.
to where.
Did you like wearing a wedding
It's
ring?
2:30. I've gotten used to it.
Yeah,
I
'cause
mean,
you get used to it. I used
now
to hate it.
I take it off when I play games,
Yeah.
and
So you always have it off.
because for some reason there's a lot of
Yeah.
clacking when I'm like really getting into it on a keyboard, so I'll take it off for that. But yes, I do own one. It's just sitting in my office.
I take my
collecting
watch
dust.
off when I play pool, but that's pretty much the only time I take my watch off.
Because it hits the table when you're rubbing
It
the
just
table.
extra weight.
It just
Funky.
Added
adds
weight.
an imbalance to what you're trying to accomplish there. But I've gotten really good at pool. I mean, I play every week, and I've gotten to the point where
Could you play snooker?
I feel like I could.
It looks terrible. It's
It
the
does look
boringest-
like a miserable game to play.
Yeah.
Mr. Tyler Lionel Johns has given his answer. Mr. Rockstar's given his answer. Mr. John Lunsford's given his answer. It's now time for Miss EG to give
Yes.
her answer. Do you own a smartwatch?
I do. I got it for my 18th birthday. That was like the big gift. And I wore it senior year of high school, freshman year of college. And then I wore it for sideline games because it was always really interesting to see how far I would walk during a football game. And it was insane. Like
Give
I
us
was
a
doing
rough amount of
5 miles for the App State Georgia Southern game.
And
I did
people,
5
and people
miles.
are just thinking you're standing there in heels,
I know.
you know,
In
just
heels.
worried about your makeup, and
I
you're
know.
not actually going out there and
No, I'm
putting in
laughing
the
at that place.
legwork.
Yeah. So, but after really that, it just looked kind of clunky on my wrist. It kind of looked like I had like a, you know, those, what was that cartoon? Ben 10. Y'all remember that?
Yeah.
He had the big clunky watch. That's what it looked like to me. So
How have
now,
I never heard of Ben 10?
You never heard of
before?
Ben 10? It was on
Never
Cartoon,
Cartoon
Network.
Network.
Never heard of Ben 10.
Now I wear a
Heard of Ren
normal
10 10?
watch. Who?
Rin 10 10?
I don't know Ren 10
That's-
10.
It's
I know
a-
10
too
with
old.
10.
That's
10
a
with-
dog.
10 with Tim.
Okay. Let's stop.
Ben 10
wear
had
a
a
real
watch. He'd like hit
watch
it and
now,
he'd turn
though.
to an alien or something.
EG, how many junk drawers would you say you have at home? Every drawer in the home?
They're organized by like, this is junk starting with S, junk starting with T.
I have one that is like designated. I love bags, pouches, purses, tote bags.
You'd be a kangaroo in your next life.
Yes. Like my mom called me her bag lady growing up because I would put a pouch inside of a pouch. So I would consider those junk
You ever had a
drawers-
Russian nesting doll?
Yes.
Because I feel like that would be
Yeah,
your jam.
it was up my. It was organized. It was contained. Yeah. So, I mean, I have a lot. My drawers at home. It's on my list to do.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to make you feel bad or
No,
anything.
no.
was just
I
wondering.
just think that could be a fun fact for those that are an egresser that as organized and whatever you want to call it.
Where do you keep your forks and spoons? They're right there near the rubber bands. It's like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Loose batteries everywhere.
Exactly.
Okay. Tyler, how many junk drawers would you say you have at home?
I've got like a little small sort of end table type deal that by the door, and it's got 2 little drawers. So those are my junk
Those are your
drawers.
junk drawers. Everybody's got to have junk drawers. I can't say it anymore. Junk drawers?
Yeah,
Drawers.
you got
Junk
it.
drawers.
Perfect.
I'm scared I'm going to say junk
Junk
dwarves and I'm
drawers.
going to get canceled
Gosh, now
or something.
Now I
I can't say it. Junk drawers.
Junk drawers.
Junk drawers.
Drawers.
Or drunk drawers.
Drawers.
Junk drawers.
I swear you're messing it up on purpose. Okay. Go ahead. How
messing
many
it
how
up.
many of those do you have in your home?
A lot with my wife. There's just not just junk. It's like random things. Like we have this.
Like protractors?
Like no. Like she was being an artist. We do have projectors. Pulling a drawer open, and you see there's platters and there's candles.
Yeah,
and like
hosting.
big candles, like non-scented candles, just candles. and then
Napkin rings?
sewing stuff. And then you go to another, but she also organizes things for like, I'll like, hey, where's the Tylenol? I've reshifted everything. And the next day, hey, where do we keep the baby bottles? I've reshifted everything. Can you let me know when you do that? Because it helps me greatly in the middle of the night.
Yeah. John, be honest here.
Probably 10 to 12.
10 to 12
We have a lot of
junk drawers.
We have a lot of drawers with just random junk in it.
We have a fun game. Do an overhead, pull the drawer out, do an overhead photo, and we have guess whose junk drawer it is.
Ooh, I like that.
That actually would be
I'll do
would be
that.
pretty fun. Our problem is our kitchen has like a hallway by our laundry room, and there's another counter with a bunch of drawers on it right there that we don't really know what to do with,
Like a
and they've
butler's
all just
pantry?
become kind of. It's like a hallway between the kitchen to the dining room to where you can set food. And so like when we have people over for Christmas, we set food right there. But there's so many drawers of like the actual kitchen. Those drawers are all organized and everything.
Yeah.
But there's there's probably 6 or 7 drawers. I can't say it now.
There's 7 dwarfs, and
that are right there.
they all have names, John.
That we just collected stuff, and it's like, well, which one has the screwdriver in it? I don't know. Which one has the charging cable for the ring? I don't know. That's the 2 things I always
Oh,
go
the
for.
charging cable drawer too. Like, my God, you're just trying to. Nope.
Yep.
Nope.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah, that's pretty bad. And then I'd say both of our end tables have the areas that hold things that are just junk. There's probably another one. I mean, yeah, it's got to be at least 10 in our house.
E.g., what is the percentage chance that Harry and Meghan stay married until 2030?
Ooh,
You're a royals expert.
I am. Stay married.
That is correct.
2024. William could be king by then.
5.5 years, basically.
I'd say 47%.
What a non-answer.
What?
47%.
They may or may not be
They
married.
may or
Coin
not.
flip. What? That's why I'm asking
Spoken
the
like a
question.
true politician.
Okay, let me change the question here.
Vote for EG.
Will Harry and Meghan be married in 2030?
It depends on what they want.
Maybe.
I'm just kidding. Yeah,
Depends on what the world is at that
They
time.
will?
they will.
Okay.
Love rules.
Man, that was tough. That was like pulling teeth. Which, by the way, if you need a tooth
God.
pulled, I recommend you visit the dental professionals at Alabama Dental Associates. That's where you'll meet my friends, Dr. Jeff and Dr. Brian, over on Grants Mill Road. They have very flexible office hours, so that way you can visit their professional dental team that they put together on a more convenient schedule for you. They're open until 7 o'clock tonight. That is fantastic if you need dental service done after your 9 to 5. If you need to find the best dentist in town, then I have found the solution for you, and I'm so happy to share it with you. They not only have all the latest advancements in dental healthcare technology, but also the friendliest staff in town. If you're ready to find that perfect dental team, reach out and try Alabama Dental Associates for yourself. They're accepting new patients right now, so you can feel at ease about all of your upcoming dental procedures. For more information, call them 205-956-8977 or visit alabamadental.com as they look forward to seeing you.
By the way, you missed a perfect transition in the chat. Earlier, we're talking about, you ever think this is the last time you ever, visit anywhere, and you're like, I know when I leave the dentist, I know it's not the last time when I see my friends at Alabama Dental Associates.
See, I was going to go in when you guys were talking about medical procedures there in the surgery room or whatever, because there were multiple times where I had the opportunity, but EG unfortunately set me up there perfectly with her Harry and Meghan analysis, which was, it was tough to get out of you. It was tough to get out of you. Just going to be blunt about it. Mr. Tyler Johns, will Harry and Meghan be married in 2030?
I'm going to go with it's a 50-50 chance because they either will be married or they won't be. And I don't know these people.
This is turning into hot or cold. My question to you, rock stars, will Harry and Meghan be married in 2030? You have to bet your life on it. I'm upping the stakes now.
I'm going to say no.
Okay.
Because they're trying to get all this attention. That attention is going to slowly fade away because
Yeah.
he's not in the Royals anymore.
And what gets more attention than a divorce?
She's going to want to be more in Suits. They're bringing that back. She's going to want to be an actress and going to get attention from somebody else. Harry's not as exciting anymore. We're not getting the headlines in it as much anymore. I will say no.
I'm with you, Rockstar. They're going to break up in 2030, or they're going to stay together in 2030?
They're going to stay together. I don't know why that stay together necessarily, the beer one, but They're still going to be together in 2030.
Okay. Well, Budweiser's the king of beers.
Well,
so it makes sense.
they're so private. You're not going to know if they're together or not.
So true. They'll do the Oprah
Too much
special.
Too much bad press.
Next question. Tyler, are you willing to use the same towel twice or more without washing it?
Yeah, like after a shower,
Yeah.
I'll go a couple uses before I wash it.
Okay. Rockstar, will you
1,000%.
you'll use a towel multiple times?
I'll do it. I think the max is 3. And then
It's a good rule.
that's 3 showers. Like I'm not one of those guys that takes 5 showers a day. But like if it's still damp by the time you use it, it's time to get rid of it. Not get rid of it, but wash it, as my 5th grade teacher would say.
You know, this conversation came up on the next rounds, and Brown said he had to have a new towel every time he does anything.
Yeah.
Was it today? It came
No,
out?
it's been
No,
this is a while
it
back.
was like a month or two ago.
Thanks for listening, Tim.
But
Well, I didn't hear it on today's episode.
but it
which is
became
why
a
I was asking.
thing, and so we made fun of him. But I don't wash the towels, and so I don't ask questions. So I'm sure I have gone a long time. I'm sure I've gone multiple days where it's been washed every time, because my wife will go through a lot of towels and she will wash those, and I know a lot of times mine gets thrown in there. But depending on circumstances, I don't really pay attention to it, honestly.
Isn't it interesting at your house how laundry never stops? Ever.
Yeah.
Never
That is
stops.
correct. It's a constant battle.
A lot of times why I wear the same thing every day is because it's just what's on top. Because my wife has just done the
never-
laundry randomly, and it's like,
Just
oh, wear
talk-
the same thing again.
Just
It's clean.
like towels and sheets, it just never stops.
E.g., what's your same towel usage rate?
I have multiple sets of towels. I love Costco towels if you're in the market for any. Reasonably priced, very fluffy.
You got some on you right now? I mean,
And
keep them in the trunk of your car?
I mean, so I would say I probably use the same one probably like twice. Now, if I dry my hair, it stays pretty damp, and I don't really like that.
Get another. Can you tell me?
If I wash my hair.
No, a roundabout number. How many towels you think you own? Towels, not like hand towels.
Yeah.
And rags.
Right now I've got
Shower towels.
2, 8
Okay.
monogrammed, of course.
Oh my
You gotta have a
gosh.
monogram.
All of mine are monogrammed too.
Yeah, thank you.
What? No.
Most of them I still have from college when I
Yeah.
got them.
Some of mine have bleach spots on them.
Oh no.
Yeah. I don't know. Okay. Need to up the
Right
towel
there with
game.
you, Tim. I've got like 8 to 10 Walmart $1.97 towels.
Yeah.
And some of them still have bleach
Sandpaper.
stains.
All these other people living the high life.
Well, the thing is, like, all the ones I have that are monogrammed, I got as a graduation present, and they're all really nice towels that people got for me.
First of
so they're really
all-
good quality towels that I still have, you know,
Little
20 years later.
highfalutin on y'all's part.
Costco.
And it's been 20 years. I still have the same towels that work.
Yes, listen, you will end up spending more on towels should you go a, non-Costco route. Costco has cheap towels. They're like $8.
Got it.
And they last you forever. They're fluffy. They're nice.
I don't think I've ever bought a towel myself. I don't think I've ever
Honestly,
bought a
I
towel.
honestly don't think I have either.
Much less had one monogrammed.
And Jay says
Okay.
monogram thinks somebody's going to walk off with them. I got them going into college where, yes,
Well,
people are going to
and
walk
I'm
off with them because you have to
sorry,
share
It's
showers.
cute. I love monograms.
EG's like, the only time my towels get wet is when I accidentally splash the bidet on it. It's like, okay.
Oh my.
All right. That's all I needed to know.
Okay.
All right.
Next on 10 with Tim, yes.
Here we go. Next. Here we go.
Why was she the
you
only one
own
that got
a
that
bidet?
comment?
Because she's being all highfalutin on this show. She's
Talking about Costco.
Monograms.
She's so highfalutin.
monogram towels.
Spitting that
Monogram towels.
She takes an
Costco
$8
junk.
towel and turns it into a $20 towel.
You can get things monogrammed for like $4.
Yeah.
That's how I get my underwear monogrammed.
I hate that. I don't hate
Okay,
it.
I got it.
This pair
I'm
says
sorry.
Thursday. That's odd.
I'm sorry.
To be fair, $4 is more than I spend on the towel itself.
Oh my.
Okay. Well, this doesn't need to be a war. This is
getting
worse than
out
the
of
Dance of the
hand.
Dragons.
Tyler's going to Salvation Army for his towels.
Tyler's using paper towels. What are you talking about?
This is at the Humane Society.
You don't have to get the
Okay.
monogram, but if you're in the market for a good towel, go to Costco.
Can't believe this has happened. Tyler, do you enjoy whacking a pinata?
Got to read that fast.
I'm not sure if I ever have been to a party with a piñata, honestly.
Can we change that? Would you be willing
We
to have
gotta
a
get a
pinata
piñata.
party? Like, let's make that a Tabletop Tuesday or something where you just smash hell out of a pinata.
All right, I've played the video game Viva Piñata. Does that count?
Sort of. Did you
all
enjoy
right.
it?
Can we please play Viva Pinata on
my God.
on arcade? I will destroy all the apple eating
I don't
contest.
even know what that is. What is?
You never played Viva Pinata?
No.
Viva
what is it?
Pinata.
It was a
Party
game.
animals.
It was like one of the first games I think on 360.
Yes.
That was
yes.
like
I've seen it. It's like a donkey or something on the
Yeah,
front.
and
it's
I
like
learned
multicolored.
French.
It's a pinata. Yeah.
Right.
It's incredible.
I can tell you the visual look of it, but I've never played.
It's incredible.
Okay. Fun for all ages?
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's a kid's game.
Hey, EG, while the microphone is with you,
I'm back.
you obviously enjoy whacking a pinata.
I mean, yeah, you could say it's nice. I don't really go to a lot of pinata parties these days.
You didn't have a pinata there at the Subway?
No,
The
I
Lilo
just
and
showed y'all
Stitch
proof of my
party?
Subway birthday though on the 4th of July.
I
got
honestly
cheese
didn't know how to
rolls now.
react to that.
No,
You
it's
said,
okay. No one
either.
replied.
Happy
didn't
4th of July. Here's a picture from my 4-year-old birthday
No,
party
I
at
said
Subway.
proof. I said, here's proof.
Okay.
I was like, I wanted to be like,
Oh, I gotta see that.
Because
God bless America or something. I didn't know what to say.
Okay, you guys asked at one point if there's photographic evidence of that
We asked if there was photographic evidence of.
foosball and the Subway birthday.
I think we
I do
did
think-
ask
I
about
do-
foosball,
I do think Subway was asked
Subway
about.
was asked
but
about.
we definitely asked for you to prove that the midnight was played at Georgia Southern games.
I'm still working on
We
that.
did do that.
And you have not yet.
Okay, well,
provided
I
that proof.
came through with the Subway birthday, okay?
Okay.
And
You
it was
did.
a Lilo and Stitch cake, and it was
You did.
incredible.
It was fantastic.
All that to say, I did not have a pinata there. I think that sometimes the candy doesn't really disperse how it should, and that kind of annoys me. So,
Do you have any enjoyment when you whack a pinata, Rockstar?
I have never done it before. When you say that, it makes me think of the scene from Parenthood with Steve Martin, where he can't get the damn thing. He's got a miter saw and he's just going at it because you see like they can never break. And I don't want a butterscotch. Like what is in a pinata? Like I don't want a fun size Snickers.
What I've always felt bad about with the pinata party is that the person who whacks open the pinata doesn't get to enjoy the candy.
No, because you got to take all the blindfold. By the time there's
the
like
ti-
15 kids already going at it.
Yeah.
It's just like, and this is my party.
Exactly.
I had to kill the guy. Now you're reaping the benefits.
Exactly. It's ridiculous. John, do you enjoy whacking pinatas?
Think about it first.
There is something freeing about hitting the pinata so hard that it just like explodes and everything. It's a good way to take some aggression out.
Let me tell you what
So,
I
yes.
don't like. Here's what I don't like. I don't like
Saw
if you're
Kendrick
having
do that in the video.
if you're having
Yes.
a pinata party and it's not going well, then telling them like, you know what, take the blindfold off and just whack it. No. You stick with the rules of the initial setup of the pinata party. That's my opinion.
Depends how angry you are. If you just want to whack it, go whack it.
Last
Out of
question
context.
here. John,
I love Goose's chat. I'm sorry, Tim.
Oh, gosh.
Goose says, "Who is this Mr. Pinata they're referencing?"
yes.
You need to know, man.
Planning a hit on Mr. Pinata.
I've been concerned about the chat ever since I brought this subject up.
Mm-hmm.
Next question, and this is our last one. John, which Mexican restaurant has the best chips and salsa?
Habaneros. Not even a
Nope.
question.
No
not
debate.
even remotely close. Not even a debate.
Rockstar, which Mexican restaurant that you've ever been to has the best chips and salsa?
Don't eat salsa, don't like it, but I will go with El Poblano because of their cheese dip. They have the best queso I've ever had. Chips and queso.
I'm trying to remember where El Poblano is
Rocky
because
Ridge
I feel like I've
in
had
Vestavia.
this. Yes, I had this.
Best cheese dip I have. That's in the top 5 cheese dips I've ever had.
Okay.
I don't know what makes it. It's got a bit of bite to it. It's just one of those things I've had since I was like in 5th grade.
It's got a nostalgia taste to it.
But it's so good. I used to love Casina Superior's cheese dip.
Yeah,
they're
I
gone.
liked it too.
But they're gone.
Tyler, which Mexican restaurant has the best chips and salsa?
Oh, I was gonna say Chewy's because of that creamy jalapeno dip until John brought up habaneros. I think they do have the best chips, but I do
Isn't
like
it-
creamy jalapeno dip from Chewy's.
Isn't it amazing that Taco Bell, I think most of us are fans of Taco Bell. I know Tyler is not necessarily the biggest fan of
They
Taco
don't
Bell.
do salsa, like legit salsa.
Like, you cannot get good chips and salsa from Taco Bell.
Yeah.
Isn't that kind of surprising? That's always been surprising.
Can't
to
get a
me.
margarita either. Trust
Actually,
me, I tried.
You can.
a
at
Baja
the-
Blast
at the-
margarita.
You
Thank
can't
you.
have the one in
The Las
Las
Vegas.
Vegas.
The
Yeah.
Las Vegas one,
okay.
you can.
Yeah.
Okay, E.G., what Mexican restaurant, and it can be in the state of Georgia,
oh yeah, I've got 2.
has the best chips and salsa?
So the first one is Del Sur in Statesboro, Georgia. It has like a candied, this is going to sound weird, bacon almost in the salsa. And it doesn't sound like it'd be good. I'm not a big bacon person, but it's like a nice depth of flavor, if you will. Got some nice kick to it.
Texture of bacon as well, where it's
No,
like bacon pieces or
No,
just
no,
flavor?
just like
Smoky bacon flavor.
Smoky bacon flavor.
Okay.
And it's kind of sweet too.
I mean, a little meaty in there is good.
It's just so good. And the other one is Sol de Luna
Or the chips like this big. It's like
And-
a whole tortilla.
Wait, no, this is in LA.
Okay, well, there's this place over here that they give you like a tortilla as your
That's
chip.
funny.
Like, my God, I'm gonna dip this in salsa.
Yeah, so those are my two. I just love chips and salsa, and I like a low cilantro level because I hate cilantro, so
hate
I have to be
cilantro,
so
too.
picky.
See,
I like cilantro.
I often give the recommendation that on a first date, going to like a Mexican restaurant or something is good because there's always that weird, like, how much do you talk, how much do you not talk? And if you're constantly going towards the middle, it gives you the ability to be doing something that isn't
too
awkward.
Then
messy
you
for a
smell
first
like
date.
Mexican too.
Yeah,
You
like,
want that
like,
more-
I'm going all the time, and I'm gonna end up spilling salsa
Yeah.
and stuff, and it's like, God, this
You guys
guy's
think that's a bad
Yeah,
recommendation?
and then you're just like breaking
Yeah,
chips
What
to the
restaurant should
board.
you go to on a first date? A steak place on a first date?
More-
Absolutely
more,
not.
More chips? Yeah, thank you. Yes, thank you.
not Mexican.
Not Mexican.
What?
You'll smell bad.
What
It'll
is
get in
better
your
than-
teeth.
Oh, pho. So you're both going.
Okay.
Should go to like a Chinese place.
Oh, what?
No, absolutely
No, I'm
not.
thinking like just a unassuming,
Subway.
Buffalo Wild Wings.
like, yeah, nothing crazy. Get like somewhere you can get a salad, like
Dave and Buster's.
Longhorns.
A salad? I don't
I
know.
would go salad on a first date because then you can
Oh, chop
Okay.
then.
chop.
I
Chop
think you
would
should
be
go
bad.
where I ate dinner last night. Our friends at Culver's.
Tell us a little bit about Culver's, John, because they are fantastic. Butterburgers are wonderful, and I think it is the second best choice for a first date compared to a Mexican restaurant. But I think
Oh
the
my
Mexican
God.
restaurant is good because you do have a tower of
Power.
You love that stuff.
This stuff is so good. I got my wife to be a believer last night in it because she didn't eat when they brought food over here. She was so nervous about trivia that they won.
Let me interrupt
But
you. You hate sauce, and
I
you
hate sauce.
love signature sauce from
I hate
Culver's.
sauce, but I love this. The only thing I ever usually get is marinara, which is why I have that too. But I love this stuff. It is really good.
How would you
and I
describe it?
recommend
Because it does look like a ranch, but when you bite into it, it's more like a creamy jalapeno with ranch sort of flavor.
Yeah, but like it's not like I don't like Chewy's creamy jalapeno sauce that Tyler was talking about. Like my wife loves it, and I just don't like it. I don't know why. But it there's this 3 cheese ranch that I get from the grocery store. I'm not a ranch person, but it's like cheesy enough that like it's okay. It tastes like that with a little bit of a kick in it. That like almost if you had kind of a jalapeno kick to it. I don't know. It's really good. It's really really good with their buffalo tenders that are really really good as well.
Smuff says Mexican restaurant perfectly fine for a first date. And then you have him saying as well, my wife and I had our first date at a Cracker Barrel.
Better than a Mexican restaurant.
Buy her gift.
Where does,
Mexican restaurant
where
is
does-
the perfect first date place.
I
Where
would
does
never get to a
sushi
second
rank
date.
in this because I feel like sushi's less messy.
I
Sushi
agree.
is a big risk on a first date. You can
Well,
get
I mean,
sick real
assuming that both
guys-
people
No,
involved in the date
yeah.
You guys
like
are
it.
If you
Overthinking
both
it.
like sushi, go to a place like Blue down the street. That's much better.
Both just get ribs and corn on the cob.
Just a full
I would never
rack
make it to a
of
second
ribs.
date if I had to go to a Mexican restaurant because that would make too much of a mess.
quick. Okay, let's talk about the box office because I also feel like a part of a first date, a good thing is a movie because it gives you something to talk about. You see the movie first, and then you go to the Mexican restaurant and you talk about the movie while you're eating the chips and salsa. I don't want to argue this with you all show, EG. It's
I'm
the perfect
sorry.
first
Now, a
date.
movie, yes, but
But-
Mexican, no.
Can you see the movie The Mexican? Brad
Yes,
Pitt.
you really
I
want
guess
to.
so.
If the movie is bad, I guess it gives you a chance to calm your nerves. I don't know.
The movie is bad. Go destroy some chips and salsa.
I just feel like the less you're required to talk on a first date, the more you can sort of feel each other out
I
non-verbally.
feel like nowadays, though, sorry.
Then you have a really bad second date at that point. 'Cause it's like we didn't talk about anything. I don't know if
Yeah.
I like
no,
them or
it's
not.
just you get
Well,
enough to
when
where
you go on the
Okay.
second date where you start talking, it's like I hate this person.
Let me say this. I think nowadays,
Exactly.
Lionel is agreeing. I think nowadays you do so much talking via apps and social media that a lot of first date discussion is done over the phone.
Yes.
Would you not? So
Now,
I
like-
think back in the day, yes, that would work.
Yes, I would agree with that. Goose says movies are a terrible first date. You have to sit together for 2 hours without speaking. What I recommend doing is you go to the last movie that is playing, which is what Laurel and I did. We went to the last movie because our first date was the day of the SEC championship.
And we talked for 7 hours, and
And
we
we sat
haven't
there
stopped
and-
talking since. Okay, we've heard it.
The movie was at like 9. It ended at around 11, and we sat there and talked until probably 6 in the morning because nobody came and checked on us, and the theater was just empty. So I recommend doing that.
What's weird is it's like it talks about your true love, but also takes a slap at movie theater protocols as well. So you like get a double
Yeah,
dip.
exactly.
Just like you like to
didn't even
double
have
dip.
to go to that late of a movie. I struggle to find an employee past like 8 o'clock.
I mean, you're not wrong.
They cut off the drink machines the minute the last Showtime hits because they're like, no refills for anybody else the rest of the night.
Yeah.
Anyway.
All right, can I give a recommendation?
I please do.
Please,
Or
yes.
stuff writing.
I've lost control of the show.
Games, like a Braves game, that was my go-to.
Oh, that would be great. Let's go watch the Braves lose. That'll be
All right,
romantic.
now you're just speaking out of anger.
I mean,
Also, you're more likely to wound yourself, and by wound yourself, I mean spill something on your shirt, eating at a Braves game than you are going to a Mexican restaurant where they have chips with no
But
holes in
again-
them. If you guys can't eat with a proper chip at a Mexican restaurant, you don't deserve to be
Tim
dating
makes a
anybody
mess.
in the first place.
Tim makes a mess at baseball games.
All right, well,
I have a picture. I'm pretty sure it's you eating a funnel cake, and you
That was
just
bad, yeah.
I
I
mean,
look like
it-
Tony Montana.
yes.
Yeah.
There's yes.
Say hello to my little friend.
It was pretty bad.
a bad Tony Montana.
I think around here going to a Barons game is not a bad idea
Yeah,
because
a
nobody
Barons
cares about what's
game.
going on in the game. Y'all can just sit
Yeah,
there
chat.
and talk. But if you want to stop and watch the game, you can stop and watch the game.
I'm sorry that I'm trying to inspire people to have love in their lives, and you guys are like, no, you're,
going
not
to
allowed to
end-
go to a
you're
Mexican
gonna end the
restaurant.
I can eat
relationship.
Mexican now in front of my wife, knowing my wife loves me no matter what.
I
cannot
Mexican
eat.
is not supposed to be pigs at a
Mexican
trough.
is
but
messy.
it's messy.
It
and
is
you-
messy.
and You're gonna
Not.
smell like Mexican food.
You have to
afterwards.
bring food across the table.
You have to
and
dip.
constantly.
Dip.
You're not just eating off your plate. You have to
Scoop.
constantly go back and
E.g.,
forth.
I'm
back
sorry,
and
but
forth.
not everybody wants to eat salad with chopsticks on a first date.
No, I'm not saying salad with chopsticks. I'm saying I would like the option.
You had a Subway birthday party, and you're
Okay.
telling us about the culinary arts
Listen.
now?
Mexican, no go. Veto if I was governor. Veto.
Oh, I'm good.
I love Mexican food though.
Let's have this
Subway
con-
goddamn cheese rolls now.
Let's have this conversation, no moss, okay?
Okay.
Here we go.
Taco Bell.
The box office, it was a thing this
Ooh,
weekend.
that's a good date place.
It was a long
It is a good day place.
holiday weekend for the box office. Despicable Me 4. It topped the box office. No surprise there. It opened up on Wednesday. It made $75 million over the weekend. That's the 3-day weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. However, it made $122.6 million since opening on Wednesday. That's domestically. The four previous movies all made between $939 million total and $1.26 million total globally. This movie, will it cross the $1 billion mark? John Lunsford's been saying yes. After this opening, do you still feel that way? No.
No.
Not going to be a $1 billion movie. What did
It will
do
still be a
overseas?
top 5. Overseas, it did 106. It is at 230 right now total.
So you do not believe it will cross $1 billion?
I do not believe it'll cross $1 billion. It'll still be very good.
It's going to hold pretty well this month. There's not any sort of competition other than Inside Out 2, which is already out.
But Inside Out 2 still did for its fourth week, still did pretty well. Still did better than most movies do on
It's
their opening
fantastic.
weekend. I just don't. I mean, it could get close. I just don't think it'll hit $1 billion. I think Deadpool's your only other possible chance to hit $1 billion, and I still am not necessarily saying that's going to hit $1 billion because of the rated R.
Inside Out 2 made $30 million in its fourth weekend of release, which is really fantastic for this movie. Made $78.3 million overseas over the weekend. Inside Out 2 has $1.22 billion in ticket sales thus far worldwide. It's easily the year's biggest hit. Currently ranks as the number 5 animated release worldwide. Tyler, you've seen Despicable Me 4. You have not seen Inside Out 2.
Correct.
Will you be seeing Inside Out 2 during its theatrical run?
I'd still have to see Inside Out 1 first. Apparently, from what you guys
Outside
have
in.
told me, that I'd need to see the first one before going into the second one.
I agree
I
with
would
that
recommend it,
assessment.
yes.
What is it that's keeping you from spending your dollars on Inside Out 2? Do you feel like it's too kiddie?
I not necessarily. I just haven't had the time to sit down and watch Inside Out 1. So the time and also really the drive to do it.
Yeah. Okay. That's what I'm wondering about, the drive. Where is it not connecting? Because I think Inside Out 2 is one of the smartest movies of the year. It's
I would agree.
really good. And do you think it's way better than Despicable Me 4 in quality?
Yes.
Okay,
Overall, yes.
speaking of that, does Illumination have any chance to surpassing Pixar?
No, because the problem is, well, no, because I feel like Pixar puts out more movies than Illumination does, because Universal, like as a whole with DreamWorks, Illumination, like they put out animated movies, but I feel like Pixar themselves put out more movies than Illumination.
Illumination is too top heavy. It has its one thing with
They are
Minions
all
and
in on
Gru,
that.
and they're all in on that. But they haven't been able to establish multiple
Did
franchises.
they do like Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs? Was that Illumination?
I believe it was.
I believe
Okay.
it was, yeah.
Yeah.
They just haven't
They
been
also
able.
did the Mario movie.
Yeah.
They
They
haven't
did
been able
Mario.
to create the amount of franchises that Pixar currently has rolling, which is why Inside Out 2. And then you're going to have another Incredibles potentially.
The only franchises they have
Did the Grinch?
are Despicable Me / Minions, which has 6 movies. They've done all those, but they've done a lot of single movies. And I assume Mario will turn into a Nintendo franchise.
They've announced the second one. It will be coming out.
But
I think it's 2026.
outside of Despicable Me, the only franchises they have are The Secret Life of Pets and Sing, which have had 2 movies.
Those are great.
So they
Those are
haven't
good
had any
movies,
like
though.
building the franchise aspect of things, even though they've done a lot of really good movies.
Deadpool and Wolverine, by the way, for the House of the Mouse, it is tracking for currently a $160 million launch later this month. I think those numbers are actually low. I could see this thing making close to $200 million opening weekend. Deadpool and Wolverine.
Is the estimate just off of pre-sales so far?
Off of pre-sales and industry analytics and all that stuff.
Gotcha.
But typically, these major studios want those to be a little bit lower because you can't lose if the projections are lower. It's like, oh man, this thing was a smash success. It ended up making $30 million more. I think it's
Under-promise
closer.
and over-deliver.
You can lose if you make it lower and then it's lower. Than that.
Correct. You can. And I think that this is a movie that's going to track closer to 200 million.
You guys already have your tickets for that?
Yes. I've had them for months.
Wow.
Yes.
Yes.
I am very prepared for that
So
opening night.
I shouldn't just walk up 7 o'clock.
You will not be able to get a seat.
There'll be
unless
enough
it's
showings.
in the very front.
You could go to the smaller theaters
Yeah.
and get one.
You
If
could
you
go-
want to show up to IMAX or Prime, then no. But
We call that the having to resort to Lee Branch mentality. That's what we call that.
Shout out.
Patton Creek.
the whole Wolverine.
I,
already.
I believe you.
A Quiet Place Day 1. It is in third place. Went from, second to third here. It's got $21 million in its second weekend. Another $21.1 million from overseas theaters. However, decreased 60% week over week. And John, that tells me one thing. Word of mouth on Quiet Place Day 1 is
Quiet.
not great. All the goodwill from the first 2 movies ended up earning it a really spectacular first weekend. However, it did not hold really well. It's made $178.2 million worldwide in 2 weeks. It comes out on streaming in just a couple of weeks. Just a couple of weeks from now, you can watch it on premium video on demand. This is a film that I don't think has done enough damage to derail the franchise, but I think it has taken a little bit of wind out of the sails of where this thing was trending, because word is getting out, I think, that this one doesn't deliver anything more than a generic experience.
Yeah, but I don't know that if this one crushed, that when A Quiet Place 3 comes out and that trailer comes out and Emily Blunt is part of it, that I feel like that ultimately is going to be pretty much the same, whether this had been good or had been bad, because this is very much a different movie than what those 2 were.
Well, they made some money off of this. They got their cash. They're going to put it on Premium V22. I have seen neither. It stars Goth as a 1980s Hollywood starlet being hunted by a killer known as the Night Stalker. This is a movie you went to go see this past week, Tyler, and you enjoyed it very much.
Oh, yeah. If you enjoyed movies like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood and slashers, this has got best of both worlds for you. You get the typical slasher violence and plot points, while also getting the interesting story paying homage to all the old Universal properties and movies. So,
I'm on the fence whether to see this today or not. I can't
Go for
decide.
it.
You think so?
yeah.
I do think it would benefit anybody who wants to see this movie to have seen Pearl and X, specifically X. But I do think you can enjoy it without it. Even though I've not seen X, I have pretty much seen it and gotten every possible angle from it from my wife, so I feel like I've seen it regardless. But there's a lot of callback to X in it, because this is a direct sequel to X. Pearl is a prequel to X.
Yeah.
So
I
would
don't know. Something about this trilogy has escaped me, and I can't figure out what it is. But
I do think it's more worth watching than Kinds of Kindness was.
Oh, absolutely.
we're going to get into that. Bad Boys Ride or Die held pretty strong there in the 5th spot, coming in ahead of Horizon and America's Saga Chapter 1,
Shocking.
$5.5 million. Costner hopes this will be a 4-part franchise. Chapter 2 releases in August. While it earned $5.5 million in its second weekend, the film cost more than $100 million to make. It's grossed $22.7 million worldwide in 2 weeks.
Don't think a movie called An American Saga is going to do a lot outside of America.
Made less than
It
$1
didn't
million
do much in
worldwide.
America.
I mean, true.
Less than $1 million internationally so far. How can you have $100 million budget on something that can only play in the States? I just don't see how that works. Everything about this is bad business.
Well, Kevin Costner dropped all his money on a dead genre, so ask him.
Yeah. I don't know.
Also, is this going to have to hit streaming like this week so to try and get some kind of audience for part 2?
That's what I would think. But
Are you not
is it
even
going to
gonna-
be premium video on demand? I assume it is.
Are you not even going to mention Beverly Hills Cop 4?
We will, but it's not going to make the
That's
top 10 of
Netflix.
this.
It's not the box office because it was on Netflix. But
Yeah. Have you seen it?
Absolutely not. Come on.
Oh, okay.
I barely have time to see House of the Dragon.
I didn't know if you'd seen it. I've heard, I think it's a play. It's a generational play. Making that movie, trying to bring back some nostalgia. We're talking about the Axel Foley movie, the Beverly Hills Cop
Kevin Bacon in 2 movies this week.
sequel. And I haven't watched it. I don't have a lot of interest.
Coming to America, too, was just, I gave it 30 minutes and checked out. Could not do it.
I feel like Eddie
Awful.
Murphy is in this phase of his career where he is basically cashing paychecks on franchises that used to have a pulse.
Well, also,
Yeah,
people,
there's finally going to be a Shrek 5 and a Donkey movie.
people have
That's
been
in development now.
He has been teasing returning to stand up for forever, and that's the next thing is will he return to stand up?
I think he did that Dolomite movie on Netflix where he got tons of acclaim for it and is like, this is the way to go.
Yeah.
And everything has
Adam
been
Sandler
nothing
route.
since then.
No, I'll do the Adam Sandler route.
Number 7, Sound of Hope, the story of Possum Trot, $3.2 million. Angel Studios, which last year released the unexpected summer hit Sound of Freedom, is struggling to find that same success with its latest Christian-targeted film in the story of Possum Trot. I don't know anything about this movie. Do you know anybody who's seen this movie? Does anybody know anybody who's seen this movie?
Nope.
Story
Lance.
of Possum Trot. Has Lance seen it?
Oh no, you said Sound of Freedom.
Yeah, this is just
Made
from
by
the
the
same
same people.
studio
Please let's not get
called
into that
Sound
again.
of Hope. So they're trying to play off of that same crowd, but they're not having the same success. I don't know what came in the number 8 spot. Khakis, 28.98.
Calky 28.98
That is
AD.
a Bollywood
It's a Bollywood movie.
Oh.
It was number 5 last week.
Okay.
Ding 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 ding.
E.g., thumbs up or thumbs down on khakis?
I had to wear them every day for 10 years. So
Oh my gosh. Thumbs down there.
Yeah.
Were they monogrammed?
no, they
I
weren't.
was just-
Pleated.
But maybe
that was
I
a
will
mean joke.
monogram them.
Fine. You do it. Okay. Next one. This is the next one here. The Bike Riders. My gosh. What an absolute just abysmal showing from the Bike Riders. This was one of my most anticipated of the year. Went and saw it. Said this thing is trash. 1.3 million. Came in 9th spot. Dropped another 60.7%. It's made $30 million total worldwide. This movie will be lucky to break even, John.
Yeah. How much did it cost to make?
I want to say it was like 40 to 50 million or something for production alone.
Yeah, I doubt it will.
It's gonna have
And
to.
38 million of it probably went to paying Tom Hardy and Austin Butler.
Yeah,
Wikipedia says 30 to 40 million, so maybe it will, but with marketing, it may break even.
I don't know. And then Cons of Kindness came in the number 10 spot, and this is telling. Added 430 theaters, and it lost 45.5% of its previous week's grosses. So it expanded in a big way, and then made about half the amount of money it did the week before. Your showing was packed, though, Tyler. You said
It was.
was your showing packed, John? when you went to
It
go
was
see
probably
it?
about half full.
And you walked out hating this movie, John. Mm-hmm. Tyler, you walked out going, it disappointed you.
Yeah.
You didn't hate it, though. Mm-hmm. But from everything I've heard, first third of the movie, pretty solid. And then
I
after
agree.
that, it goes off a cliff.
So it's
Yep.
3 different movies. It's 3 totally different movies within one. The first one, I thought, okay, this is good. I didn't like the way it ended, but I thought if I'd rank the 3 movies, I'd probably give the first one a 3.5 out of 5, 4 out of 5, and I'd give the other 2 -3 out of 5 because they were both terrible. But the first one had some promise, and then it ended, and you had to still sit there for another hour and 45 minutes because it's almost 3 hours long.
And then the second one was just way too weird for its own good.
It tried to get way. Now look, he kind of has a little Christopher Nolan in him when Christopher Nolan tries to get a little too out there. He has tried to get too out there with his movies. The Lobster was a little out there. The Favorite was a little out there. Then Poor Things was like getting out there. And then this is like, how can we get so far out there? We're not even on the same planet anymore. And it failed miserably.
So it just narratively is an absolute dumpster fire.
The problem is, it's
I wouldn't
different.
say that.
It's 3 different movies, so that have nothing to do with each other, unless you want to make them have a tie with each other. But like one story, the first story I thought was decent and made sense, and then the second story makes no sense whatsoever, and the third story,
So it's like Cloud Atlas.
kind of because Cloud Atlas at least somewhat tied together. This does not tie together whatsoever, other than it's the same actors just playing different roles in each one.
It's basically 3 short movies that
He's
you sit
trying to
down
do
once for.
He's trying to do with this what Wes Anderson did with his short movies on Netflix, but he put them all in the same movie.
Doesn't work.
Doesn't work.
Did Laurel hate it too?
Yes,
Okay.
she hated it more than I did.
Oh, really?
I at least kind of like the first story. She didn't like any of it.
Gosh.
See, I like the first story, and I thought the third story was okay, but the second
third
story was awful.
Third story on paper had promise.
Yeah.
But it just did not work. And this has incredible people in it. And it has a guy who just did one of the movies we thought was the best of last year. But it just didn't work.
See, that was my big thing in my review was it's got so many pieces that I like, but none of them just seem to work together. It's so strange.
Like, I feel like I'd walk out of a movie like this typically and say, well, the actors are still good actors. This put me down on Emma Stone. Like, I walked out still thinking Jesse Plemons is still a pretty good actor. Willem Dafoe is still a pretty good actor. Emma Stone is starting to go down for me. And that's not to say La La Land's still not, a perfect movie to most people.
No, it's just you walked out of Poor Things going, I think Emma Stone's the best actress on the planet right now.
She did the best actress. She did the best job last year, definitely. But
Same thing.
no, I walked out with that reaction.
It was like an easy
But
A. that
I have
she was
seen
gonna get
multiple things. It's not just this. I've seen multiple things because The Curse was awful. And that was like her first, I'm going to do something now that she produced and everything. And then she did this that was also awful. And
Do you think she's embarrassed by this movie, seeing it sitting there in the theater, or do you think she thinks it's brilliant?
she thinks it's brilliant?
You think so?
Yeah.
Didn't she sign on for another movie with Lanthimos about alien abductions or something?
And she's done multiple with him because she was in The Favorite. And I think she was nominated for an Oscar for The Favorite. So, she's done multiple things that have worked with him.
This ain't it, though.
This ain't it. And it was so bad that it's making me think.
I was going to let the week play out and figure out what I wanted to watch today, whether it was Kinds of Kindness, which was probably my most anticipated of the ones that were releasing. But after hearing y'all's reaction, I'm going to sell this one. I'm not going to watch it.
If you want to watch this in the same way, it's like Madam Web's so bad you got to go watch it. That's the only way I would tease this.
Did you ever see Daddy-O?
I wouldn't go that far.
I
really like Daddy-O. That
I'll
was sort
watch
of
it when
like
it
the
comes on.
surprise
Daddy-O
movie of the
was
year.
solid.
It was. I thought it was great.
I'll watch it when it comes on streaming.
From Kinds of Kindness, something you didn't like, to Way to Wellness, something you do like. Kindness, wellness, sort of goes hand in hand with Leslie and her board-certified team.
Go to aplanforme.com. You too can get a plan that will work for you, just like Tim has. Right there, weighing in, dropping some pounds. We're over 80 pounds down combined. You see Leslie in the background right there. Planforme.com will give you the plan that works for you, just like I have a plan that works for me. Tim has a plan that works for him. Jim Dunaway has a plan that works for him. My dad has a plan that works for him as well. Go to aplanforme.com. Learn more about our friends at Way to Wellness.
I still love that the chat is debating Mexican restaurants versus burger places versus all of that. E.g., you've left an impression on everyone today, so congratulations on that. You've monogrammed the chat.
Love that.
Good job. Luntz's list, here it is.
That's Mexican places for first dates.
No. Today,
None of them.
Today, EA Sports gave an exclusive first look at College Football 25 gameplay. EA Sports College Football 25 for PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X and S promises to give fans the experience of explosive gameplay across 134 FBS schools while immersing you in the iconic atmospheres of college football as you chase college greatness. But which elements of this game really speak to John thus far? Let's find out in this edition of Luntz's List.
What is this? What is this? Nonsense list, nonsense list, oh. What is this? What is this? Nonsense list, nonsense list, oh. Nonsense list to buy. Nonsense list to buy. Nonsense list to buy. Nonsense list to buy.
Alrighty, John. Name the 5 things that have you feeling optimistic for EA Sports College Football 25. How did you approach this list? As we have all awaited for this time of our lives to come back, awaiting a new college football game, it feels like it's been an eternity.
Truth is, it could be garbage, and most people that listen to the next round or this show would probably still go by it. just because we hadn't had a college football game in 11 years. But, it does look good. It does look like they've, done a good job with it. So I went and picked 5 things out. But I like the way they've done it, kind of trickling certain things out there to kind of whet your appetite. That's why I said it. To kind of whet your appetite, as we get closer to it. And honestly, it just hit me today. It's like literally next week. Like literally,
we're a week away.
1 week
We're going to
from
be
now,
playing it.
We will
here on the
already
Meltdown.
have it available to us because it comes out at 3 and it's 3:15 right now. So anyway,
And that is for those that do the pre-order of the MVP bundle or whatever.
It said you have to pre-order it by July 16th, which is the date they say it's available, even though it comes out that Monday technically. So I think as long as you buy it, period, before that pre-order time, you're okay.
Okay. Number 5 on Muntz's list, as we look at those 5 things that John's most excited about with EA Sports College Football 25.
Team builder.
All
Now-
right, John, talk to me.
The thing that got them in trouble was custom teams, because you could make the roster whatever you wanted to, and you could make Jalen Milrow, which I know that back in the day that wasn't it, but let's just use players now. You can make Jalen Milrow, you can make Quinn Ewers, you can make whoever.
Ed O'Bannon.
Which led to all of that and led to the game going away for a long time. Now, this is a cautious optimism here, but they do say there's a team builder in there. They say you can upload stuff via the internet, which a lot of, like Madden doesn't really have a team builder in there that you can really do. I think 2K has done the best job with it in general, with both you can do in NBA 2K, how you can create custom wrestlers in WWE 2K and all that. But EA has always lacked compared to that, but they say you can go in and do this. So we can make a Meltdown team if we wanted to. We can make a TNR team if we wanted to. I can resurrect my team in Birmingham Southern from the grave and put them in there. The only problem is we're going to run into an issue, and I'm sure you can't do this, is you can't put people on the team. So, like, you cannot transfer. I can't say, well, Jalen Milrow is going to transfer to Birmingham Southern and play, because that technically, like, hurts him from the NIL standpoint and what he's, like, allowed to do. And that then gets, I think, into the issues of what they ran into with the Ed O'Bannon case and all that. I also don't think I can make John Lunsford and Tim Melton like, hey, we're the 2 tackles on the offensive line. I don't think I can do that either. So that's going to be a little bit of a problem with it, but you can make the actual team, and then I think you just play with just players after that. So I kind of have to see it play out. My cautious aspect of this is they have not shown anything of this. It was in the initial release, and they had a whole paragraph about, like, kind of explaining what it was going to be in the initial release, and have not touched it since then.
Can you use mascots in this mode?
You cannot use mascots in this mode. Sorry, Tyler.
Okay.
I was holding off anyway. It's all
I was waiting. I was watching the gameplay reveal when they did it this morning at 10 o'clock, and Tyler was sitting over my shoulder, and I was waiting to be like, Tyler, if they ever showed mascot mode in there at all, but they never showed it.
You never tapped me.
Tyler's actually part of a very vocal minority that is
people do love it.
Is adamant that they have to have mascot mode to make this a complete experience. But it looks like they're saving something for college football 26. That's the way I look at it.
I'm
three
sure
people
that's
complain.
what's happening.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
3 people
I'm
complained.
sure EA just wants to give us extra content, but just can't.
Who were the 3 people that complained? It was Tyler Johns, it was Tyler Lionel, and it was Lionel Johns.
I will place some bet with you that mascot mode is backed by college football 26.
$200,000.
I mean, I'll take that bet as a DLC mode. You pay $30 as an expansion for, and always has to be online, and you do daily quests for, and
I don't
all
know if
that
you know
other
this.
garbage.
Gaming has hurt Tyler very much. It has hurt Tyler.
The industry has.
I'm
I
happy
love
the game is
playing
back.
games.
This is a euphoric moment. This is actually a time where the gamers of today win for once. And I don't want to sully that with hurt feelings and emotions. I feel like it's a positive thing right now. Now watch me Monday play the game and absolutely hate it and be like, what is this crap? Tyler, I'm with you.
All we have to do is just try to connect to the EA online servers, and then you'll get.
That's
like
all
that.
Tyler said.
That's
all day
all
long.
you'll have to do.
I'm not looking forward to the servers, which the servers are not very good.
They're not very good.
If you play a FIFA Ultimate Team or like Madden Online, you know how it is.
We'll get to hurting Tyler later in the list. Number 4.
Tyler sounds like EG picking up a non-monogram towel.
Boom. Burn.
What is this? This disgusts me.
I don't even know. Is this mine? I don't know.
No, EG, you're not catching strays. Hey, give the microphone to EG. Let me talk to EG real quick. EG, poker tonight?
50-50.
Oh, that's a no.
Oh,
that's a no.
that's
No,
more
it's
than
not.
Megan and
That's a no.
Harry.
That means no.
No,
that means no.
it really
That
was.
is more than Megan and Mary.
Hagen and Mary.
Megan and Harry.
No, that's fine.
No, I really. Okay, well, never mind.
Yeah, we know you're not going to be able to
Now
play
it's a
next
0
week.
because we said that.
I thought we all weren't going to do it next week.
We're probably not going to.
Probably not.
But you're
I've just
definitely
been
not
up
going to be
since
able
5
to.
a.m. Georgia time today.
Look, this is not an
I'll be
intervention.
there. I'll be there.
Oh, gosh.
Confirmed.
Now
You
she
don't
should be
have to.
upset.
So I'm in.
EG, you
I'm
don't
in.
have to do
Everybody's
that.
gonna
I'm
get a towel.
in. I'm in.
Okay. Number 4, the right voices.
All right. The right
Stefani.
voices. So what I mean by this is I mean
Rush Limbaugh.
one of the things that's not good about Madden is, of course, you had John Madden for a long time. You have Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis. And I believe Brandon Gaudin is a Braves guy now. He does like Bally's, Braves.
Y'all are becoming Braves fans. Tim told me that he watched the Braves every Tuesday. I'm sorry to get
I
off
watch the
topic.
Braves every Tuesday, and
I
they
just-
lose every time I watch them.
Well, anyways.
Anyway, he does the Braves. That's like his main job. And then he does like some small college football and basketball for Fox and the Big Ten Network. So they have a guy whose main job is calling the Braves on Bally Sports, which is a channel not even most people get.
Bally
And
Sports
then-
and the Stars, by the way, broke up. No, Bally Sports and the Stars. Yeah, Bally
I think
Sports
Bally
and the
Sports
Stars.
is breaking up with everyone
Broke
right
up.
now.
The Stars broke up with Bally
As far as I
Sports.
know, the Preds have not broken up with them yet. But they're on the same channel as the Braves, so I have to hear Braves promotion all the time. But it's him and Charles Davis. And Charles Davis at least does lower level Fox color because it was Greg Olson and now it's going to be Tom Brady. But it's people that nobody really cares about. Like if it was Al Michaels and John Madden back in the day, and now I'm surprised they haven't gotten Al Michaels and Kirk Herbstreit to do it because that's the crew that does the Thursday night game. But college football is going to have Chris Fowler and Kirk Herbstreit calling the game. They're going to have Reese Davis in the game, Jesse Palmer in the game, David Pollock. So it's names we all know. And maybe this will open the door to Kirk Herbstreit doing Madden moving forward. I don't know. Supposedly, they're going to have new voices this year in Madden, but I don't know that they've announced them yet. But that's something Madden has not had is the right commentators in the games and the right voices.
I do have a question. Are there going to be sideline reporters in this game?
I don't believe so.
That sucks.
I think those 5 I said are
That
the only ones.
sucks.
And I think the Reese Davis, Jesse Palmer, David Pollock are like more of a game day kind of thing and like leading into games and all. Maybe they will. I don't. Maybe that's what
I
Jesse
should
Palmer will do. I don't
Get
know.
on the phone with EA Sports.
EA Sports College Football 26.
Yeah.
Sideline reporters
Sideline
will be in the
reporters.
game.
EG
Along with
Sports.
mascot mode.
They're adding
EG
so much
Sports.
to the game.
Rockstar, what's your demand for EA Sports College Football 26? We just got the game back for the first time after a decade of waiting.
Oh God, I have so many things. Locker room speeches.
Locker room speeches.
Oh, that'd
that would
kinda
be fun.
I don't.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
bet you Oregon's
Press
coach.
conference, post game conference.
You have Oregon's coach going into the Colorado game, and it would be epic to have that sort of live look in that was
Which-
completely planned.
By the way, this obviously isn't a good thing on the list, but when they showed today, so it was Donovan Edwards, running back from Michigan, versus some YouTuber who got destroyed by Donovan Edwards. By the way,
Destroyed. I mean, it was embarrassing.
It was bad.
Yeah, it was really bad.
And smoke kept going off every time he scored.
Every time he
It was
scored,
awful. It's
and
like,
First
still
game
nowadays.
was Texas and Michigan, and it was
Oof.
okay. The second game was Penn State, Michigan, and he beat them like
Oof.
56-21 was the final score. Which also, by the way, they were playing 3-minute quarters, and they were scoring at will. So it makes me think this will be a high-scoring
It's
game.
going to be an arcadey game,
It will.
which should be fun.
I assume there'll be different modes though, like there is with Madden.
and I'm
You
sure
got
there will
arcade
be.
and simulation.
They're probably playing on
everything
something
else.
easy so they can complete more passes and stuff like that. But they showed the celebration. So he scored a touchdown with himself. Donovan did. And they're like, hey, pull up. It's like in Mortal Kombat when you pause because you want to see the moves, you know? He hit pause and went down to celebrations, and there's a whole list of celebrations you can do. They're like, oh, we got 20 celebrations in the game. But there's one that is Colorado only. He's playing as Michigan, and it pops up. It's like, oh, you can do show the ice, and I think it's like showing a Rolex, and it's only for Colorado. They are so bad trying to do everything possible for Colorado.
Colorado's
in this
a
game.
top 16 team
Yeah,
in the
they're
game.
ranked 16th overall, and they're going to win 4 games this year. I mean, it's crazy, and I get they're trying to push Dion and his kids and all that to try to pump the game up. But
You sound a little bit like Tom Luganville right now.
Are there any other team specific or player specific celebrations? None.
one player or one team specific, and it's Colorado only. And because it says everything's just open except show the ice, Colorado only.
You can tell this game was being developed early of last
Birmingham
year.
Southern
Yes.
has like a little magician thing, like the program disappears.
Because FIFA has a
gosh.
I've
similar
already said
thing
a Birmingham
where,
Southern's dead joke.
where one of your celebrations will be like the player's signature celebration if it's a certain player.
Yeah, and I don't know any off the top of my head that I can think of in college, but it's just weird that Colorado.
That's
It's
another
not
thing.
like, oh, all the big teams like Alabama, Texas, Michigan, they all got their own. It's just Colorado.
This is like the team building thing. I think another thing I'm looking forward to. They have a box of ping pong balls that you could put on you and do motion capture and create your own celebration.
That would be interesting for sure.
That'd be
I could
great.
see a couple people putting those on
Yeah.
and doing that,
Be
and I
very
would find it
graphic.
it would be very fun to watch.
That's
that.
going to come with the College Football Hall of Fame. So they have a thing now where you can do like you pretend like you're on the game day set and you predict a game and a mascot head drops on you. We've been there before, but
Let's go to number 3, please.
they're going to have a thing where you can do that and it'll put it in the game.
Number 3.
I lost myself. All right.
Rockstar in the chat. We have Steven who says, "I demand Dr. Lou on the next game."
Dr. Lou hadn't been around. He ain't been around. The video game can just kind of past my prime. My son just won another championship, though. Yay, science.
You sound like Peter Griffin's son.
He does sound like Chris Griffin.
Yeah. Hey, Dad. Hey, Dad. Stewie.
Okay. It's making me laugh. Number 3, Dynasty Catch-Up. This is the only kind of catch-up you like.
Hunts.
Correct. The Dynasty mode has caught up to where we are today, so that makes me optimistic. I'm not a big Dynasty player. I'm not one of those that's like, oh, I'm going to get UAB and play a 30-year Dynasty like some people are. But watching the reveal, I guess it was, I don't know, was it last week before last? I've lost time with the 4th holiday, but they showed everything and like the recruiting aspect of it. Obviously, you have to get the transfer portal in there. It looks very in-depth. And I think they've gotten that part of it right. I think if you are one of those people that likes to go and do all the behind the scenes as opposed to actually playing the game, then you're going to be happy. So that makes me optimistic that if they put that much care into that mode, which is probably the biggest mode people play, it's made me optimistic for the rest of the modes they have in there too.
Okay. I'm looking forward to playing Dynasty mode. It's my favorite thing to do. I don't love the recruiting aspect, though, but a lot of people lose their mind over it. I typically just like to play the games, but we shall see how that turns out. Let's go ahead and head to number 2 on Luntz's list.
This is the mode I'm most looking forward to.
Oh,
So is the mode where you go to class and everything? Is that the road to glory or path to glory or
Yeah.
something?
They're doing that Wednesday or Thursday.
yeah.
They are revealing that at the end of the week. So my favorite mode is going to be College Ultimate Team.
Okay, I thought that was CVT, and I was very confused.
Sorry, CUT.
You down with CVT? Yeah, you know me.
1992.
Anyway. One of the best aspects of FIFA, and I'll throw NHL in there too, is Ultimate Team. And I enjoy that much better than any kind of like Dynasty or career mode. I think it's a way to still build a team, but you're building teams with current players. It did not work well in the NFL because you have 32 teams to pick from, a roster of 54 players, however many players there are, and that's pretty much it. Now, they started adding legends into the game, but college, you have 134 teams that are in the game. Now, FIFA has like 700 teams or something like that. But in this, you have to where you can get players from UAB, and then you can upgrade them to players from Vanderbilt, and then you can upgrade them to players from Georgia, and you can ultimately build a roster of more talent. You have more building to do within it, and I think it's going to be really good. And once you build a team of like the best players from around the country, then you can play online, play the Ultimate Team mode, which is always fun to do. I don't know. I like Ultimate Team, and NHL has a pretty good mode of it too, because there's a lot of other hockey teams outside of the NHL as well, but and like prospects and stuff like that. But I think Ultimate Team is going to be pretty fun, and it's going to give me something that I have never enjoyed in Madden.
Bless you. Let's go ahead and get to number 1 on Luntz's list of the 5 things you're looking most forward to with EA Sports College Football 25. Based on what you've seen so far, we'll obviously have a review of this game. We're going to play it live here on the channel next week on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, at least. It's going to be an insane week of content. And we've got SEC Media Days going on where EG is going to be our field correspondent out there for the Meltdown. Obviously, the next round is going to be live out there at Media Days. You won't want to miss any of their content all week long. As we are moving.
THEIR.
Yeah.
I misspelled there and I stopped. All right. They did the homework to make this game right. This is why I'm optimistic of the game.
I thought you actually had to do homework and stuff in this.
So the things that were making me feel optimistic for the game is they did their homework. They got the traditions right. They got a lot of playbooks right. So like one of the things Donovan Edwards said today was when they were playing Penn State, he's like, the guy, whoever this YouTuber is, ran a play, and he's like, they just added that play for the bowl game. Like, they never actually ran that play. The only time we ever saw it was in the bowl game. I can't believe they had that in the playbook already. And I'm sure that was all a built-up thing to be like, hey, you should mention this thing that we've updated the playbook.
Oh, wow.
But
I did not notice that.
And try to keep the game competitive with your opponent.
Which he did not do. But I think they did a good job of getting playbooks right. So, with Oregon, you're going to play a faster pace like you're typically used to Oregon being. With, Vanderbilt, they're still going to suck. Different things like that. I think they did a good job with it, showing the traditions. Like when they went to Penn State, they showed like the whiteout when they came and played and everything. So doing your homework, and look, I know there's certain things like, was it Texas State that was like, you didn't add our upper deck to our stadium. What the heck? Like, they're going to miss some things because there's a lot to keep track of with this. But I think overall they've done a very good job, especially with the teams people actually care about, of getting it all right. And really the only thing they overdid and got wrong was Colorado. Outside of that, I think they did a pretty good job.
I know, Rockstar, you've got to run here very shortly, but I have to ask this question to John. You're more than welcome if you need to go. John, your relationship with NCAA football, was it something where you were obsessed with that game to the point where you were getting the midnight launches of the physical copies and you were, collecting the physical copies for cover athletes? Did you have one Mark Ingram on the game?
He was. That's the only one I can really remember going midnight release and everything. Outside of that, not really. I think Sean Alexander was on an old one. But I typically would get into them. I typically would play them a lot. I would, if I could do any kind of customization, I would do a lot of customization for it.
Rocky crawled across. I told him he could go. He crawled across the floor.
Keep talking.
The best part about that is I was trying to tell him he didn't have to do that because I put it on John's tight shot.
No, it's okay.
He absolutely did not have to crawl.
EG, come sit over here in this chair. Oh my gosh.
Small Sean Alexander was on Madden cover. Same thing. If it's stuff like that, I will collect it and keep it. I don't have any of them now necessarily.
What would it take for you to actually buy a physical copy of a game these days? Because Dirk has been on a copy and Luka's been on a copy, and I don't want to own either one of them physically.
And if Jalen Milroe, which I guess he is on the deluxe edition or whatever, the back of his jersey's on there, I don't care. I mean, because the thing is, it's too hard to play the game if you're actually just going to buy a physical copy. Just download it.
It's so much easier to download.
Which
is what they want.
Yeah, we're going to have it at 3 o'clock Monday because we're going to download it.
Yeah.
We can't physically go buy it till the 19th. I guess.
Did you guys ever hear the story of the Comp USA early release of NCAA football where they accidentally put it out on the shelves a week before it was supposed to come out?
No. I love Comp USA though.
This was 2006 or something, and they weren't supposed to actually put the game up for sale yet.
Whoops.
And Comp USA said, we ain't got nothing else to sell, I guess, so here we go. Let's put this out there. And people were buying it, and they were going to the internet, all these threads talking about the game and the features and stuff because they were playing it a week early. These days, it's much tougher to accomplish that task, even though I feel like we're primed for that sort of thing to happen again, just simply because the digital copy gets so much attention that some of the physical copies may leak out there. That's all.
I mean, yeah,
it's an
but
interesting
also,
NCAA football story.
Also, the thing with EA is I feel like you have to sign in before you play a game, so you're probably not going to be able to actually play the game.
Of course you do. You got to have an EA account.
That's true. There are a lot of safeguards.
Because when Tim and I played NHL together, I had to log into a different. I fixed that problem now, but I had to log into a different gamer tag to play Tim in NHL versus if we play Rocket League, then I have to log into another gamer tag to play it. And because you have to make accounts on everything, and it's impossible.
FIFA or what's it called now? Football.
EAFC
24. You'll have to have a different gamer tag for that, and then.
So I have the same gamer tag, but then you have to have an EA account. So my EA account will go for FIFA, Madden, NCAA football, NHL, but we play Rocket League, I have to log into a different one because then I have to have an Epic Games account on top of that. And then if we want to play another game on top of that, I have to make a different account on top of that.
If you don't play Warzone, you got to have an Activision account.
That's right.
Do you know of another game off the top of your head that has had the lifespan of NCAA 14 without having a separate re-release? So, obviously Super Mario World, right?
GTA
it's been re-released
5.
15 many times. GTA 5 is a great choice, actually.
Well, I mean, I guess re-released because it's been re-released for every console update.
That is correct.
Since the PS3.
It feels like NCAA 14 is literally in a league of its own.
But also, I think the majority of people that are still playing it are doing it on a modded PS2 where they've downloaded like the updates and stuff like that.
Right.
Like, there's not a lot of people that are out there. I'm just playing NCAA 14 the way it was. Like a lot of people are having to update it as well. So I would say it's the same as like getting GTA 5 on a new console because I've updated, but it's the same game because that was 2013. So that was same year because when the 14 come out.
How old were you in 2013?
13.
Tyler?
I would have been 14. So, but back to the early release, I just thought of something. Isn't the day one patch that you have to download when it releases, isn't that now like the activation key almost? So it doesn't matter if you have a disc or not?
That sounds right.
Yeah, something like that.
Man, I feel like I've read it. I might be just throwing something out there.
That sounds right.
NCAA 14 came out July 2013. GTA 5 came out September 2013. So they're pretty close.
Wow. And here we are anxiously awaiting another college football game and another Grand Theft Auto, which is another game we will be playing nonstop the week it comes out on the stream.
Absolutely.
And Goose or somebody said Fortnite, it only came out like 5-6 years ago, but League of Legends is that way. It's been the same. It came out in 2010, and it's been the same game pretty much played since then. So there's a lot of PC games like that, but yeah, on console, NCAA is up there.
Samuel says when you guys play, you have to roll with Colorado for the best content. I do feel like Tyler paired up with Colorado will be fascinating.
Yeah, I was in the middle of responding, and I was like, "Oh, I've already claimed Colorado, and I think it'll go hand in hand with my trash talk."
Look, next week we're
It'll
just
go also hand in hand with you only winning 4 of 12 games.
next week we're just going to kick the tires on the game. You agree with that? We're just going to play.
Yeah, I mean, we can try a few different things out
We can try a few different things, but the main thing is we just want to get as many hours sort of like testing the game, playing with different teams, all that sort of stuff. So we'll test how we're going to do that. But moving forward, we're going to have a more competitive league here in the TNR offices.
Yeah, and we're still figuring out how to do that because don't know who all's going to play in it.
Yeah,
and,
that's a tough thing. Oh, yeah, I'll do it, and then they don't show up.
Because our Madden League, only 5 people, only like 3 people played all of their games. Only 5 people played all of the games among the 5 people who actually took it seriously. So it's kind of like fantasy. We only actually have like 3 people that took it seriously. So
I feel like the key to making our Meltdown NCAA football, Meltdown EA Sports College Football League work is scheduling games to go right at noon and then
pretty much
having those play out. So we're going to coordinate all of that. It'll be a lot of fun. But next week, we're going to be playing that game intensely for all of our viewers here on the Meltdown. And we're looking forward to seeing how that goes with a bunch of fun live streams next week. So if you, for some reason, don't have access to the game early and you want to see us play the game, we will be doing that next week here on the Meltdown. However, covering the real deal college football, that is going to be EG out there in Dallas.
Excited.
And what are some of your expectations for Texas and Oklahoma joining the SEC?
Gosh.
Because that is the big storyline, right?
It is.
Going in, that is the talk of the town. That's why this thing is in the state of Texas.
Right. It's a little different. Historically, Media Days really doesn't leave Birmingham. Now we're in Texas. So it's going to be interesting. I saw Texas play last season in Bryant-Denny against Alabama. And as we all know, who won that game? That was my first game here, actually.
If during EA Sports College Football 25, there's any shot of Jim Dunaway chasing Matthew McConaughey on the sidelines, I'm going to give them massive props.
detail.
Like,
Seriously.
wow, what props there.
Or Jim as security.
Oh, there's a lot of. We could see Jim Dunaway in this game.
Do we know if he was asked to put on the light
Tennessee.
bulbs and do mocap?
The Tennessee storming the field. There's just a guy out there in a suit, just holding his hands up, trying to be
In the
security
battle
for
red
everybody.
hat.
Yeah.
Yeah, good
Incredible.
stuff.
Which, by the way, you said your first game was Alabama, Texas.
Yeah.
The first and last game EG has covered for the next round have been Alabama losses.
Okay, let's not
So-
draw any attention to that.
I'm,
I don't need to give anyone.
It's okay. During the press conference, she spilled something and took up
And
the whole
then
attention
did
of
that
the
to
room,
just
so that worked too.
Make Kalen DeBoer lose every game. It's like, oh, this is the sign of the times here.
We'll put that to the test
Now,
later. this
Am I
season.
correct that coaches are also featured in the game?
I don't think they are.
Oh,
Really?
So it's going to be generic coaches with players that are
Because like I don't know that
like Kirby Smart's not in the game.
I don't know honestly because like in Madden I don't think they actually like
Have like Bill Belichick.
Bill
out there?
Belichick. Like they build a guy to look pretty much like
Sometimes
Bill
they
Belichick.
do.
but,
Depends
like,
on who it is.
I don't think it's like the rights and they call him Bill Belichick
just
and stuff
Coach
like
B.
that. Like there's a lot of players in here that they've like used AI to kind of get close to making them that way. Like
Yeah.
I'm curious to see what Arch Manning, because he's the highest profile player that did not
Didn't,
put his
yeah.
name in the game. So I'm curious to see what he looks like. But they used AI to do a lot of stuff. Sam says it's because he's not in the coaches association. So like there is like something that keeps certain coaches out. So I'm curious, and players too. I just don't think you really run into it that much, but you'll run into it more here.
I know
I just looked it up and it says no word about coaches, but they will like copy playbooks and tendencies over.
Because like the playbooks in Madden will say the coach of the playbook. Like I think it just says the head coach. Yeah. So I think like for the Patriots, it would say the Bill Belichick offense, Bill Belichick defense. But I think from what I've seen in this one, you can change offenses, but it just says like Alabama offense, Alabama defense.
Someone gave an example on that site that one of the reasons might be an issue like Billy Napier not really being thrilled about like a coaching grade and seeing like simulations have him getting fired in a year.
Because coaches are paranoid.
Yes.
And
they
any sort of attack towards them as being maybe even I believe in this when you're picking to be a coach, you can pick one of 3 different archetypes to sort of be.
Yes.
And
3
then there's like
different
a skill
personality
tree
types.
type deal.
Correct. So you can be like either a motivator or a on-field tactician or a great recruiter. It's like those 3 things. And I always thought like motivator and recruiter are sort of the same thing. Like I feel like they're stretching them a little thin there.
Recruiters recruiting you off the field, motivators like in practice once you're there, something like that.
I guess so, but I mean, like, who do you feel like would fit into those 2 different archetypes where someone who's a great motivator is not necessarily a great recruiter or vice versa? Like James Franklin? James Franklin would be a great motivator, but not a great recruiter.
Yeah.
Dabo Sweeney, great motivator, not great recruiter.
He's not a very good recruiter. Yeah, that's probably.
So, and then someone who would be a great recruiter and not a great motivator would be somebody like
I don't know how motivating
Gus Malzahn
Lane
at Auburn.
Kiffin is.
I was going to say Lane Kiffin or Hugh Freeze.
Yeah.
Because I feel like Hugh Freeze is recruiting like crazy, but
anyway, this is why coaches don't want any part of this game.
And his only wins have come from illegally recruiting at Ole Miss. So.
Well, there you go.
The NCAA said it, not me. I'm just saying.
Do you think there would have been any benefit because they tried to do the whole Bill Walsh college football angle early on, and obviously Madden stuck and Bill Walsh did not? Do you think there'd be any benefit to calling it, Saban 25, Saban 26, or is that just in-state bias that I'm showing here by even bringing that up as a possibility?
Physical copies would finally sell here.
Physical copies would sell here.
I do think they should have done like they've
Regional
done with
copies.
Kobe on NBA 2K. They should have done an edition that's like $150 just for it, and it's like, the Saban edition or the GOAT edition or something like that. That like you get a bunch of cool stuff, and then of course Alabama fans would buy like crazy. They should have done something like that, and you could keep doing it with coaches as they retire, or players maybe as they retire or pass away or something like that. They should have done something like that instead of just calling it Saban something. Because I think the thing I don't remember if Madden, I guess, was already doing commentary when Madden came out. But like, I feel like you got the twofold. You got the on the field aspect and the commentary aspect.
I do feel like, Madden, Saban. Like it works. Like it wouldn't be so jarring to the
I feel like time has to pass though. I feel like they could do that like way down the road, but today's demographic, an Auburn fan isn't going to buy it.
And Saban has to be in the game as well.
He has to be
like Saban has to be able to, like, he's going to be on game day. He has to be on game day on that. Like you can't just call it that. Yeah, he very much has to be a part of the game as well, like Madden was.
I just don't know of another figure who's more universally acclaimed as being a dominant college football coach in the current generation.
No,
than that of Nick Saban. And if you're going to do that route, since they've already done it with Madden, I just feel like that would be the way to go. And this is coming from a UAB fan.
We could go with a Dion 2025.
Please, no.
They
pretty much are, yeah.
Yeah, Madden and Dion. By the time Tyler's done playing this game, it will be Dion 25 because he will have been so dominant with Colorado.
Shadur's about to put up some numbers.
This is going to end up in like Colorado's hype video if we're not careful.
I really do think like one of the very first matches I want to see is John with Alabama and you with Colorado and see what happens. Because if you beat Alabama with Colorado, you will do to him what he has done to you so many times in breaking your heart in video games. Like it will be painful what you're able to do to him. Tyler's trying not to remember the hard times of former losses in Meltdown Arcade. Okay, I'm going to sign off before we end up creating more division here. But Meltdown Arcade may be the thing that ends up destroying the show at someday. Good job, John. Are you happy about that?
I didn't say
it's
anything.
Your fault.
I just like with the chat talking about seeing Hugh coaching from a hospital bed up in the press box would be fun. They had something like that in the game.
That would be good. That was one of the all-time great coaching clinics there. That would have been, I mean, you want to talk about reporter's dream is being able to interview a coach from the hospital bed while he's coaching the game.
That would have been incredible.
What are your expectations for SEC Media Days before we sign off for today?
I'm really excited. I feel like I've been putting a lot of preparation into it, but I do want to ask y'all's, the Meltdonia, what they want from me as I trek off to Dallas, because I'll be doing exclusive content for the Meltdown. So if there's anything specific that you guys want to know about the players, the game specifically, what the players want out of the game, things like that, let me know, let the chat know, let them know, and we can have a little plan going into it.
Yeah, if you guys have any sort of nerdy questions that are Meltdown sort of esque that you would like some of these SEC players to answer, feel free to send those in. You can send it either on Twitter at Meltdown247 or you can send it here in the chat and we'll make note of it. But we have Samuel who says, I'm local to Dallas. I'm going to try to stop by. So that would be really cool to meet a Meltdown viewer, Meltdonian there, and Samuel at SEC Media Day. So
really cool.
Yes, make sure if you spot EG, shout Meltdonia and she'll come over.
Yeah, I will.
Take a selfie with you.
It's going to be fun though, because this is more of my bread and butter, if you will. So this is more my background. So I'm excited to get back into that swing of things. And I don't want to say it feels normal, if you will.
So on Monday, I think we're getting some sort of travel vlog, which should be a lot of fun.
Yes.
See what you can capture there.
Yeah.
And then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, we'll be getting exclusive content from Media Days. And then Friday, we'll get sort of like a
recap.
Media Days Day 4 recap. So it'll be fun. All right, that's going to do it for us here on The Meltdown. Don't forget, if you like playing games, you can always go to our title sponsor, John. That's MyBookie.
Go to mybookie.ag, promo code next round. You see it right there in the corner. You can play in the sports book, or you can play a little baseball, or get ready for college football and bet some futures there. You can play in the casino. You can play those slots. You can play in the live casino as well with real dealers, real cards, real roulette wheels. Go to mybookie.ag, promo code next round.
Goose says, please ask them how they feel about whacking pinatas.
Tyler and I were giggling about that.
That one, I might get
Ask them how they feel about the game Viva Pinata.
Nick says, ask them how many times they use the same towel after a shower.
See, these are the questions. Honestly, people would probably want to know this.
Would they?
All the preparation.
How many have their towels monogrammed?
And monogram. You'd be surprised. I bet a lot of those players have monogram towels. From
That was
I believe
that was
that.
the
I would
gift.
believe that.
I don't know about you, but that was the
Yes.
gift when I went to college. Every single person gave me monogram towels.
Yes, I
Because
agree.
when you're sharing, I mean, luckily I lived at Riverside, so I didn't have to share a shower. But like a lot of people in dorms have to share a shower, so you make sure your towel is yours.
Also,
that makes sense.
When I say normal, it feels normal. I mean, it feels normal to be preparing like this, not normal to be going to SEC Media Days, because that is not normal.
It is not a normal space.
No.
It's odd.
But just try to.
Really cool.
Is this your first SEC Media Days?
Yeah.
Oh, you're going to.
I know. I'm
It's
so
great.
excited.
Good luck.
It's
Great. You're going to have a lot of fun. I do remember when it was right down the road, just
It
the
was a lot
luxury of being
easier
able to
back
go
then.
down. Now, a lot more coordination, but it should be a lot of fun. We'll have EG on the road for us next week as we play EA Sports College Football 25, as Tyler's going to win the whole college football playoff with Colorado. That's a guarantee. There we go. Look at the strength there being shown by young Lionel.
What kind of odds
Got to
can I
show
get
the
on,
ice.
What kind of odds can I get on betting against that?
I have a feeling if he has to go up against you, it's going to be pretty tumultuous to try to get there. I didn't say that correct either. It sounded like Elmer Fudd. That's going to do it.
Drawers.
Drawers.
Junk drawers.
Drawers.
Say junk drawers 5 times fast and I'll end the stream.
Junk drawers, junk drawers, junk drawers, junk drawers, junk drawers.
It's like
The
drunk.
last
It
one
was a drunk drawer.
The last one was a drunk drawer.
Junk drawers, junk drawers, junk drawers, junk drawers, junk drawers.
Wait, I want to try.
Go.
Junk drawers, junk drawers, junk drawers, junk drawers, junk drawers.
That was too slow, though.
Junk drawers, junk drawers.
All right, that's going to do it for us here on The Meltdown. We'll see you again tomorrow, Tuesday, 2 o'clock Central. You won't want to miss it. We also should have a trailer review of Gladiator 2. It drops tomorrow, so we're looking very forward to seeing if that lives up to the hype here on The Meltdown.